Insurance Company, DBA, in most states, as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Variably cloudy skies for us this afternoon and warm with high temperatures in the upper 80s. Our chance for rain the next couple of days is minimal. We won't see any rain bands from Aaron this far inland, but it will be blustery. We'll see some breezy conditions tonight and tomorrow with gusts up to 15 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight's low 73, tomorrow's high 88.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 26 points to 44,895.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian! The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Hump Day, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. As always, we are one step closer to... Actually, we're not even one step closer. We are week 0. The week 0 games in college football start this weekend, but the whole week is week 0, so we're there. And we're also one step closer. No, we're actually all the way to the big 3 at 3. Let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up.
Number 1.
Yesterday on the show, we talked with Blake Harrell, the newly permanent head coach of ECU football. He was the interim at the end of last year, finishing 5-1, earned himself the permanent title, and he joined the show late in the show yesterday. Didn't get enough time to truly react to some of the comments, including this one where I asked Coach Harrell about the revenue sharing era and if he was or is, I should say, pleased with the support that he's getting from the ECU program when it comes to the revenue sharing dollars. And this is what Coach Harrell had to say.
We're blessed in Pirate Nation to be in an area where people, football matters. People care about football, and they're willing to support it with everything they have. Obviously, our resources may not be what the ACC is. I think, this year's roster, each year your revenue or your share amount is going to be different, and ours is going to be different next year. But I think this year, C.J. Bailey's probably going to make more than our entire roster. But you don't focus on that. You focus on what you have and what your resources are and how you can, have success of what you have. And I think that's, not just about revenue share. That's about life, Be blessed to have what you have and make the best of it, and we're certainly going to try to do that.
Did you hear that comment about C.J. Bailey right in the middle there? C.J. Bailey, for those of you that don't know, is the starting quarterback, rising sophomore for NC State, who is the game one opponent for ECU. I think C.J. Bailey is going to make more than just about their entire roster. Listen, I don't know what it is about talking about money. In college sports, nothing gets teams more worked up. Like if it's a rivalry, you really want to rile up the other team's fans, just talk about how much more money they have, and people get really defensive. Right now, if you by the way, like put on your helmet, like some elbow pads, make sure you're protected. If you want to get into a real online battle, go find somebody with some kind of Ohio State Twitter handle, Buckeyes for life or something like that, and just bring up how much NIL money they spent on last year's national championship team. They'll get furious. Rather than proud, rather than saying, yes, we support our team and that allows us to have nice things, they'll start, Texas A&M spent more and they didn't win, so why are you talking about Ohio State's money? Like, they just get mad. So Blake Harrell going, C.J. Bailey's making more money than our entire roster. It's like, oh, you're already setting yourself up, already building it. It's going to build to the rivalry. The fury, which, by the way, is already there between those two teams. And look no further than the last game of last year, the bowl game, where it ended in extracurricular activities, chippiness. Yeah. First round, well, there you go. Boxing bell is what we were looking for.
Wrong ding.
And ended in some scraps. That first game is going to be really fun. We'll talk about it more at 3:15. A little insight from Coach Harrell, Blake Harrell, into ECU, NC State, at NC State, opening up the season. That is also number one on the Big Three at 3. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Once I get an idea that I think is really, really good in my brain, I have a really hard time getting it out of my head. And the more I think about it, the more I think Adam Thielen being traded to the Vikings is a really good idea. So throughout the show today, I'm sure it's going to pop up multiple times because it's rattling around in the old brain space, and I can't really get rid of it. For those of you that are unaware, Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, Diana Rossini, longtime NFL insider, really all the insiders that you know, are reporting that the Vikings are in the market for a veteran wide receiver. Jordan Addison, one of their stud young wide receivers, is suspended for the first part of the season. Justin Jefferson, although expected back for week 1, is dealing with some injury stuff and not practicing. So they want
hamstring injury, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. They want a veteran to come in and kind of be a steady Eddie safety blanket if they need it at wide receiver.
Especially with a quarterback who's going to be starting for the first time in his career, J.J. McCarthy.
Who, if he starts with 3 bad games, all of a sudden, like, Sam Darnold conversations are going to be brought up, and it's going to be ridiculous. So they want a veteran wide receiver, and I'm sitting here going, Adam Thielen would be perfect. I'm sitting here going, Adam Thielen would be perfect for this reason. The Panthers are not at a point where they can give up value. They're not at a point where there can be an opportunity where they can turn a nickel into a dime, right? Then if they can turn an asset into more value, they have to take advantage of it. And right now, they have an opportunity to turn a soon-to-be 35-year-old wide receiver going into the last year of a contract into something of value. Probably a draft pick. I don't know how high you're getting. Maybe a conditional 5th. Who knows? But If the opportunity is there, you have to take it. They can't be in the business of losing things of value for nothing, which I believe will happen if you play out Adam Thielen's contract. He'll either retire or go somewhere else this offseason. You'll get nothing in return. And what you will have had is a safety blanket for Bryce for one more year, which I would counter with, if Tetairoa McMillan can't be the safety blanket for Bryce, you got bigger problems anyway. And then, he's from Minnesota. Do the old man a solid. He's been a loyal soldier, so to speak, for the last few years. He's been out there putting his body on the line with a team that had no business winning. And he's a veteran using the last couple of years of his career. Send him home. He's from Minnesota. He keeps a house in the area, played at Minnesota State Mankato. Obviously, most of his career production at Minnesota with the Vikings. He hosted all the Panthers in Minnesota in the passing game this past offseason. Send him home. Do him a solid. That's number 2 in the Big 3 at 3. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Senior Bowl released their top 300. They've gone from 850 on the watch list down to a top 300. Now, these are, just to be clear, players who are draft eligible for the upcoming draft, but on top of that, meaning the 2026 NFL draft in college football, but on top of that, they were even more exclusive than that. They looked at their experts and only included players who they felt were likely to enter into the 2026 draft. So if you're a rising junior and they thought even if you're one of the top 300 players, you're likely to return for your senior year, you wouldn't be in this. I have the list in front of me of the players from the Triangle that were chosen, and they are. We'll start with the most. How about this? We'll start with the school from the Triangle with the most inclusions on the list. Tar Heels, North Carolina. Offensive lineman Daniel King and 2 cornerbacks, Marcus Allen and Thaddeus Dixon, both in the Senior Bowl top 300. Now, this goes against the top 1,000 from the Shrine Bowl. This goes against some of the other watch lists where Duke and State have been the more heavily featured teams. Carolina, with 3, leads the Triangle. Duke then follows it up with 2, and you probably could have predicted who. Chandler Rivers, the corner. Terry Moore, the safety. 2 players who are on darn near every watch list that their positions allowed them to be on. And then NC State has tight end Justin Jolie and defensive lineman Brandon Cleveland on the Senior Bowl top 300. Now, I wondered, like the part that holds me back from making too big of a deal out of this is that part about they need to think you're likely to enter the NFL draft. Because I might get up in arms about Brian Parker not being on there for Duke, right? All-American on a few different lists on the offensive line, but he has 2 years of eligibility left, and I don't see anybody predicting him to be like a first-round pick. So perhaps they're saying, yeah, he's one of the top 300, but we don't expect him to be in the draft next year, so he's not on the list, right? And same could be said for a few others. So it's almost like you have to, unless you are one of the top dudes. I think they said 42 underclassmen are in the top 300. Unless you're a first or second round pick projection, definitely at least a day 2 pick projection, you're not going to be on the list. And in the top 300, there would be a bunch of obviously day 3 pick projections. So it's interesting. It's a good way to judge kind of veteran talent, like super leadership. The guys that have been in 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 years of college. If you have a couple of dudes up there, I think that helps in big moments. So if that's the case, Carolina has a few dudes that they can depend on. Also, I think it shows how unbelievable secondary play is going to be in the Triangle this year. 2 corners from UNC, a corner and a safety from Duke. No fly zone across the Triangle, perhaps. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big 3 at 3. We hinted at it earlier, but Blake Harrell, the head coach of ECU, who is taking on NC State to start their season, joined our show yesterday. He talked about that emotional first game and what the team's outlook will be going into that one. We have that audio for you coming up next.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy energy-smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Genie log, day 15,824. Powerball jackpot's over $600 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $600 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Two running back set. Bailey keeps. Bailey dives to the end zone. Touchdown! NC State! And now the fireworks go off on time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. College football season starting up here in the next week or two, depending on your team. NC Central starting this weekend, 7:30 on Saturday against Southern U. Most of the other teams in the state of North Carolina starting up the following week, Thursday, Saturday, Friday. There actually is a Friday game. There's a Monday game. So there's kind of we have a full weekend that weekend.
We got the weekend covered.
Got every day taken care of. But with that, I feel like, when you're binging a television show, you come back in, you get the, last time on. I think we need for State and ECU, previous season on college football. And then they play just the clips, the little, wait, you're my brother? It's like all the soap opera stuff. That can't be. Well, okay, let's give it to you, right? Right at the end of the bowl game last year, ECU, which is obviously Group of 5 program, had defeated NC State to keep them from having a above 500 record. State finishes 6-7, and after the game, emotions boil over. Fights occur, right? And it was a contentious point in college football, right? Starting with kind of rivalry week right at the end of regular season, seemed like there were a lot of fights, and that was just another addition to that group. So ECU, NC State end their seasons, bowl game, ECU upsets State, and all of a sudden there's fights, and immediately our thoughts go to, and they play the opener next year.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a couple months later, they play. It was immediately like they are scheduled for week 1 of next year to play against each other. So that has to hang over your offseason, right? That has to, right? You got to play with
nature.
Exactly. I don't know, the guy said something bad about you, and now the next time you see him, you're staring him down. It happens. So Blake Harrell, the head coach of ECU, joined us yesterday on the Easter Automotive Group hotline, and I asked him about facing NC State in the first game of the year.
I mean, you're always excited about game 1, and that's kind of everybody's preseason talk, whether it's back in the spring or in summer or even here in August. You're always kind of looking forward to that game every year, regardless of who it may be. And this year for us, it just happens to be an opponent that's just up the road from us. And, our fan base and their fan base are live in the same communities and see each other daily. So that kind of adds a little fuel to the fire than the fact we wrapped up last season in a bowl game, finish the season, the last game of the year with them, and then turn around and play them again. Get an opportunity to go up their place and face off again. So it's a very different, team on both ends probably. You got new faces, new teams, and new coordinators on their end. So there'll be some things that'll be recognizable and some things that'll look the same, but there'll be some things that'll be a little bit different.
Do you know what I was thinking about this earlier today? Do you know why I think there feels like a little extra personal zing between ECU and NC State? I think it's like the most fierce rivalries or the most hard to explain where the edge comes from. I think there's more similarities than we give them credit for. Like we played for you earlier today, and we can play for you again. Blake Harrell pointing out, the head coach of ECU, pointing out that NC State's quarterback, C.J. Bailey, might be making more than the entire roster of ECU. That would be a point that State would make about some other, power conference opponent, right? Like, they've got everything handed to them. They're the silver spoon. We're out here getting it out of the mud. We're blue collar. They're silver spoon. ECU it probably feels that way looking at State. Right? So it's kind of like your identities are so similar that you're going to butt heads, right? It's the biggest fights that in like your personal life are the two most stubborn friends that you have, and it's because they're both stubborn, right? And it's that's kind of what I'm looking at here. ECU might be the NC State of the AAC. Just change that middle, or it's just the American now, right? I guess it's not I can't even make that joke.
Just the American conference.
Not just the American, but you know what I meant. The American, where they might be looking at like Tulane, like Clemson. They might be looking at Army, like that's Florida State or something, going like, why are they getting all the attention? We're over here, blue collar, working hard. Look at our history. We've got some good players. You ever heard of Chris Johnson? Meanwhile, State's looking at like Clemson, Florida State, going, why are they getting all the love? Look at our history. You ever heard of Phillip Rivers? I think that's why they butt heads so aggressively, because there's some identity crises going on when looking at each other. We're the most blue collar. No, we're the most blue collar. No, we find the 3 stars and turn them into NFL stars. Well, we turn the 2 stars into NFL. They go back and forth like that. We don't have as much support as we'd like to have in NIL. We have so little that your quarterback makes more than us. It's like, all right, who's one-upping each other here? This game is going to be really fun. That's basically what it all comes down to. State, I could argue, and I think I will when it gets closer, it's like must-win game week 1. Right? If you lose that one, the schedule's not super tough early on, but if you're dropping group of 5 games early, then anything could happen. Based on the bowl game, based on the fan reaction, I think you could have some real negative thoughts if you drop that one. ECU, on the other hand, they've been rising pretty steadily, or actually kind of jumped to a higher level as soon as Blake Harrell took over and Caden Hauser took over as quarterback. If they start the season with that kind of win, they will be talked about in the American. They will be talked about amongst the group of 5, group of 6 teams, whatever you want to call it. But the one thing that I think could be the difference as far as which team plays up to their expectations is, for the most part, State's returning a lot. They replace both coordinators, but they aren't depending on a lot of new faces. Meanwhile, ECU, again, talking with Blake Harrell. Matter of fact, we'll play it for you. Here's a clip on him talking about the keeping of players and the support from the financial side of things and what it means to kind of be able to have stability at ECU.
You got to go win ball games. If your administration or even your fan base can see you win ball games and be successful, it kind of pushes them to kind of even give you more support. And I think that supports financially, and that allows you to bring in more talent and retain more talent. I mean, we lost from our last year's roster of guys that didn't play in the bowl game, we lost 5 starters between offense and defense. They're now playing in the ACC and Big 12. If you have some other financial resources, maybe you're able to hold on to those guys. And then, it's also a fact of recruiting and bringing talent into Greenville and into the American Conference. And the ECU is being able to do that. So you just got to, you do have to be a salesman, but certainly the best sales job you can do is win football games.
5 starters last year are playing in the ACC or the Big 12 from ECU. Another projected starter, Savon Revel, is a day 2 draft pick and on the Cowboys, although he was hurt for most of last year. So it's hard to say, what are they going to do without him when their 5-1 streak at the end of the season didn't include
he wasn't playing
his play, exactly. But they've got some production to replace, right? They brought in some transfers, but that's where week 1 comes in, right? They don't know, right? They haven't figured it out yet. Meanwhile, State, they are bringing back – they had their big turnover last offseason. So as far as who should have, I guess, fewer excuses for underwhelming, State would have fewer excuses. Neither coach is looking for excuses. Because why? Because they're blue-collar guys that work hard and they want their team to pick them up by the bootstraps and nobody cares about your excuses. They're very – I don't know if they're actually similar. I think their ideologies are similar. I think what they want to project their identities to be are similar, which makes it very interesting when they don't like each other. The other part that's fun about this game, and I think it's good for both teams, is they're going to get mid-season intensity from the jump.
Oh, yeah.
It's the equivalent of starting in one of the Aflac kickoffs or something where you're playing a top 10 team in a neutral environment and you're just thrown into the deep end right away, only you don't have to do that, right? Only it's a not that game, but you get the same level of intensity. Part of scheduling kind of this rivalry game, and it's in-state and everything else to start. These are the games that I hope stay around forever, by the way. Shout out to NC State for scheduling it. And shout out to the legislators or whoever forced them to do it, because these games are way more fun and way more exciting than if State, played Austin Peay or Central Western Michigan.
Back to your point about both these teams having, or both these schools having that blue-collar mentality, that's something that Dave Doran even himself said. Say, hey, we're the blue-collar school, referring to NC State.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who we are. And ECU views himself the same way. Hey, you know what? We don't have all the bright, shiny stuff all the time, but guess what? We're going to make the most out of what we got. I mean, it's not like East Carolina hasn't put guys in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
There's Keaton Mitchell up there playing for the Baltimore Ravens.
Left early.
Yeah, left early.
ECU has a strong history. State has a strong history.
Sure.
And neither of them feel like it gets talked about enough.
Exactly.
Which, again, there's just a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, it's almost like you're staring in the mirror.
It really is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up next. I'll tell you this. 2 quarterbacks from the state of North Carolina, college quarterbacks, have made the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award watch list. I almost guarantee they are not the 2 quarterbacks you are thinking in your head. Stick around.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included. Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, you simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI, or simply put that money to better use. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50 at any size Sprite for $1.49. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So I realized we did talk a whole bunch about that opener for NC State and ECU during the first couple sections of the show, and I failed to mention that Wolfpack Weekly featuring Dave Doran will be on our network at 7 o'clock tonight. So if you want some preseason look into what NC State has going on, as well as ECU ahead of that opener, you could simply, after our show is done here, go find the Blake Harrell interview on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. You'll hear insight from Blake Harrell, ECU's head coach. Then make sure you're tuned into 99.9 The Fan at 7. Hear the insight from Dave Doran about their preseason. Now you've covered all your bases. Now you've seen it from all angles on what is, according to our listeners at the moment, the most highly anticipated Week 1 matchup in the state. Dennis, tell us how we know that.
So we have a YouTube live chat. Obviously, you can watch us on YouTube Live. And just follow us, 99.9 The Fan. Make sure you subscribe as well. But we have a poll out. Which Week 1 college football game are you looking forward to most? We have NC State taking on East Carolina, UNC taking on TCU, and we have Duke taking on Elon. So this is games involving schools here in the Triangle that are Week 1 college games. And it's 75% say NC State, East Carolina right now.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
The most anticipated, as I said.
Yeah.
So it's all there. We're getting ready. We're getting there. Where do you anticipate?
Week from tomorrow.
Now we can jump into the Dean's List. It's called a transition in the radio business. Dean's List, classes in session. Dean's List, where we give a few extra accolades, a little extra praise to those that deserve it across the college sports world, either directly or indirectly related to the college sports world. Here's the deal. We are deep into watch list season, okay? We'll start with a very obvious one that gets mentioned a lot. And then we'll move to ones that are a little bit more niche. Starting with the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, right? Doesn't need much explanation. Goes to the best quarterback in the country. They put out their watch list. There are 13 ACC quarterbacks on the watch list. 2 of them play in North Carolina, meaning in the state of. One, Darian Mensah, Duke sophomore. There you go. You got it.
Makes sense.
Dean's List member. He's on a whole bunch of watch lists. Incoming transfer from Tulane, highly paid, highly regarded. The other is Robbie Ashford, Wake Forest redshirt senior. So he's on the Dean's List. Robbie Ashford has bounced around a little bit. There was some time, what was it? Oregon maybe. Then he was at Auburn, South Carolina. He's been kind of all over the place. Hasn't been named the starter at Wake Forest as of yet, but he's on the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm watch list. Congratulations to those 2. They make the Dean's List as well. The more interesting part is neither CJ Bailey nor Gio Lopez make it. 13 ACC quarterbacks. There's only 17 ACC teams. CJ Bailey for State, their starter, and Gio Lopez, the expected to be named starter for UNC, did not make it. And you may go, well, Gio Lopez couldn't make it. He hasn't been named the starter yet. Well, neither has Robbie Ashford of Wake Forest. Matter of fact, I'll one-up you. Grayson James of Boston College made the list, and I'm pretty sure they've named someone else the starter. Dylan Lonergan. So there's actually a backup on the list. So I don't think you can say Gio Lopez was disqualified by not having been named the starter when there's somebody who has been named the backup. If you're wondering who the ACC quarterbacks are that have made the list, I just mentioned Grayson James, Boston College. There's Cade Klubnik of Clemson, no surprise. Castellanos from Florida State, the Boston College transfer. Haynes King, Georgia Tech. Miller Moss, Louisville. Carson Beck, Miami. Eli Holstein, Pitt. Kevin Jennings, SMU. Steve Angeli, the recently named starter for Syracuse, transfer from Notre Dame. Chandler Morris, Virginia. And Kyron Drones of Virginia Tech. So I guess they're all on the Dean's List, kind of. But more motivation for C.J. Bailey and Justin Jolie, the tight end, who said, C.J. Bailey doesn't get mad about the disrespect. That's what he has his tight end for. They make the Dean's List. Next Dean's List members. And again, it's list season. Both 247 Sports and On3 put out their true freshman All-American lists.
Okay, so these are guys who haven't even played it down yet.
Haven't played it down yet.
Okay.
247 and On3, obviously their bread and butter is recruiting. But this also takes into account opportunity, right? So if their top recruit is a quarterback going to Clemson, I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Then they would say probably not going to be a true freshman All-American because Cade Klubnik's going to play all of the main. So like that, you get what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
So it's opportunity meets like college readiness in their recruiting world. On both lists, there are two players that play their college football here in the state of North Carolina.
All right.
One, Isaac Souls from NC State, offensive lineman. Another, Duke linebacker Bradley Gompers.
That's a great name.
Gompers. Bradley Gompers.
Gompers? All right.
Both highly ranked recruits who are projected to have opportunity to make immediate impacts on their college rosters, which back in the day would have been something. But now with transfers, they just grouped in with like newcomers, and it's you look at the defense and you just see, all right, there's 6 newcomers projected to start or whatever, and you don't realize that 5 of them have played 100 games combined or 150 games combined in college, and that guy just finished prom. Like it's the true freshman used to be a more exciting deal, just because we noticed more. But both of those guys having the opportunity to play early in the ACC is pretty darn cool. So congratulations to both of them for, I guess, building up the hype and potential before having done anything in the college ranks. Dennis, do you have anybody you'd like to add to the Dean's List?
No one knew. Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. Okay.
Nobody knew.
Then I'll go back to it. How about the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award watch list? That is what it's called, the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award.
Okay.
This award, I'm like, Earl Campbell, this got to be some kind of like a running back award, right? This is the requirements for the award. You have to play on the offensive side of the ball, so it goes to an offensive player. You have to have played high school or college football at a 4-year university in Texas. So you have to play either your high school ball in Texas or play at a 4-year university in Texas. You have to exhibit tenacity, performance, teamwork, persistence, sportsmanship, a couple other buzzwords. In particular, demonstrate those traits in response to adversity and or injury. I feel like we started with a really wide pool and we just limited it all the way down. But Matt Craycraft, Duke offensive tackle, made the list. Apparently he's from Texas.
All right.
Dealing with some kind of adversity, comes from the offensive side of the ball, and exhibits tenacity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, amongst other traits. Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award watch list.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Until now.
But by the way, shout out to Duke's social media team. They did tweet out like another list for a Duke player, and I was like, "What is that?"
As they should.
What? You got to play high school or college in Texas, offensive side of the ball, have dealt with adversity. Like that's very, very specific. I'm going to make an award that's like you have to play most on the left side of the formation.
We should do that.
Has to be offensive. You have to have a number that is prime. You have let's just go super specific. So there's 9 possibilities in the entire country each year, and then we pick our favorite at the end.
Just award to the best player who wears a single-digit prime number.
Single-digit prime number.
Let's do it.
From North Carolina, but can't play their college in North Carolina. It's just everyone gets an award. Everybody gets a trophy.
Why not?
Speaking of North Carolina, speaking of the Triangle, the last Dean's List Award member is the Triangle. Why? Because now that Daniel Jones has been named a starter.
Yeah.
UNC has Drake May with New England.
They do.
Duke has Daniel Jones with the Colts.
They do.
State has Russell Wilson with the Giants.
Okay, if they're claiming him, that's fine.
Developed him.
Sure.
Got a degree, right?
Yeah.
Every Triangle ACC team has a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Look at that.
We are in the epicenter of producing quarterbacks. And then if you mix in, hey, the ACC can also claim Cal, and you get Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers, and you also have Louisville and Lamar. The ACC, epicenter conference for producing NFL quarterbacks. Then the Triangle, the epicenter within that. We're we're the VIP at the club most people can't get into.
Tyler Shuck,
Shuck,
Saints, Louisville.
I mean, there legitimately are.
I mean, Lamar Jackson was at Louisville when Louisville was in the ACC. He was to 100% count.
Cam Ward, Miami.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, the ACC produces
the conference of QBs. Let's go.
Darn right. We could go up and down the list. We won't, but we could.
Because it's a long list.
It is. It's too long. But my point is, the Triangle is like the VIP section inside a club that is already really exclusive to get into, right? The ACC quarterbacks is already like the Roxbury, right? It's already like the hottest club in town. And then even within that, the Triangle is you got in, cool, but you can't get behind those velvet ropes over there.
I can't.
Shout out to the Triangle. And Daniel Jones for making it happen. Without him, it doesn't exist. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of quarterbacks, we'll dismiss the Dean's List. Thank you very much. Speaking of quarterbacks, the more I learn about how the Carolina Panthers have handled the preseason, the more I'm going Bryce Young really wasn't set up for success, was he? We learned more about the play calling situation, who was calling the plays, when they were calling the plays, and I have questions. Dave Canales will be calling this upcoming week. Why wasn't he week 1 and week 2? Stick around.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So just so you know, we have Mike Glennon, longtime NFL quarterback, obviously prior to that, NC State quarterback, joining the show later on. And we're going to talk to him a bit about preseason for quarterbacks and maybe playing time questions and kind of how you should handle the quarterback. So that's coming up a little bit later on for a guy that's been through, a decade's worth of NFL preseasons from the inside. With that being said, from where I sit, there's some concerns about the way the preseason has been handled by the Panthers. And we learned more details of the decision-making process from Dave Canales this week, including the decision, for those of you that don't know, he passed off the play calling on offense for the first 2 games to the offensive coordinator, Brad Idzik, and Canales will take over for week 3. Some of the other position coaches on defense called the plays for the defense the last 2 weeks, and the defensive coordinator who will call the plays for the regular season will take over for week 3. That's Ejiro Evero. For an explanation on how it happened, why it happened, here's Dave Canales.
So Brad called the game offensively for the last 2 preseason games. Really valuable opportunity for me, as Brad is the main guy that I rely on during games to feed me information, play sequencing, when to get to certain things. I've been this wingman role for a lot of coordinators in the NFL, and I know how valuable it is as you're searching for plays and somebody in your ear just says, 2nd and 6, they're playing man. Boom, you got the right call. And for me, just the added value for Brad to feel what that feels like, to know here's when that information is appropriate. Here's how to sequence these things. These are the things running through his mind as he's, developing this game, as the game's kind of coming to us.
Now, there's some logic to what he's saying there. There's some advantages to getting other guys that experience.
Yeah, make him better at, helping me. Makes sense.
There is, like I said, there is some logic there. I don't think Dave Canales is a good enough play caller yet, an experienced play caller yet, to be passing off opportunities for him to be practicing his play calling. Right? Make sure your main play caller is polished, locked in, great at his job before you worry about the guy who might jump in and give you a suggestion here or there during the season. He needs to get into a rhythm. He needs to get back in the earpiece of Bryce Young. Get into a rhythm with what Bryce Young likes and doesn't like. He needs to be doing that. Not to mention, it removes a variable, right? Because now I'm sitting here thinking, all right, Bryce didn't look good through 3 or 2 preseason games, but maybe it was he didn't vibe with the play caller, and I don't want to have those escape hatches, right? You want to know if someone's not playing well, they need to fix it. Not though. Well, once Dave it gives you like a, like once you know how to fix the problem, you don't have a problem, right? So it's if all it takes is last time he was being play called by Dave Canales, he was scoring 1 million touchdowns against Atlanta. Why would we worry? I'm going like, I think we should worry, but I get what you're saying, too, because you have that trap door to escape out of, logically. The last 3 games, last month, whatever you want to call it, the last hot streak for Bryce Young last season is not enough to put away the tools and say the work is done. No, the interactions between Canales and Bryce Young are still in their infancy. In their infancy. It's one thing to see super tenured quarterbacks and super tenured coaches handle preseason differently. If Aaron Rodgers wants, whoever's coaching Aaron Rodgers wants to say, all right, we're going to let the wide receivers coach call plays. Who cares, quite honestly? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to be out there changing the play at the line and getting into a good play regardless of what's called, right? If Andy Reid, who's been calling plays since, I was in diapers? If Andy Reid wants to let his offensive coordinators get those reps, that's fine because Andy Reid is polished. He's ready to go. He knows he can turn it on at the drop of a hat. Sean McVay, same thing. Even though he doesn't have the length of experience, he's pretty darn well proven. Canales has been calling plays in the NFL for the same length of time Bryce Young has been in the NFL. They're children in that respect. You're not good enough to be worried about someone else getting better. You need to worry about you getting better. Especially when you look at some of the struggles they've faced the last 2 years. Last year and then into this preseason, I guess I should say. Not really 2 years. Right? There has been times where the play calling is not aligned with what Bryce does well. And then last kind of, tangible point to make here is it's a voice in the head thing, right? The play caller is literally the voice you hear in your headset giving you the play. Athletes are wild. Most athletes, I'll say most because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, actually, this person wasn't. Most athletes are unbelievable creatures of habit. Some would say it flirts on superstition, but it's like, you want to have the same pregame meal. You want to do the same warm-up. You want to have the same conversations. You want to double-check the same things. And if you think I'm crazy, go look at just for 2 games. If you ever get the opportunity, watch the training room before an NFL game. Nobody is going to be getting their ankles taped by 2 different trainers. They're going to be getting their ankles taped by the same one at the same time. They're going to walk up, and if their trainer is busy, they'll go, I'll wait. Even if every other trainer is wide open, going like, hey, you can sit here on the table. I'll tape your ankles. It's like, nope, I'm waiting for Joe because Joe is my guy. Is it superstition? Is it routine? I don't know. But then you're putting Bryce Young out there for 2 series. 2 series. And he's got a different voice in his headset. Little different cadence, little different vibe, little different. Different isn't what you want. You want routine. And now as soon as you're not playing Bryce Young in week 3, Dave Canales is going to call the plays. It's 2 ships passing in the night. Never the twain shall they meet.
I think there should have, looking at it, I understand what Dave Canales wants to do in terms of helping Brad Idzik be better in terms of helping Dave Canales when it comes to actual game day. I get the logic for it. But I think the balance should have been maybe the first half Dave Canales calls plays, especially when Bryce is out there and Andy Dalton's out there. Then in the second half, turn it over to Brad Idzik. Let him call plays in the second half. And then maybe for this game, if you know the starter's on play, then go full Brad Idzik for it. But I think I'm with you in the sense of Dave Canales is still super young in his play calling career. I know he's been in the NFL for quite a while, but in terms of actually calling the plays on down and distance, on situations, it's still very young to him as well. And he needs the reps with Bryce just as much as the Bryce needs the reps with him. It all has to be a balance in that situation.
And I think it's a really good way because I get the muddy nature of the decision, the foggy nature when you are the head coach and the offensive play caller, right? Because it's almost like you're like a player coach in that situation. You're like, nope, I'm putting myself in the game as play caller. But look at it from the defensive side, right? Because Ejiro Evero didn't make the play calls on defense either. What about the Panthers' defense last year made you think the guy calling those plays, he doesn't need to be polished up at all? He doesn't need his play calls to be worked on.
Yeah, hey, we're good.
They've only been historically bad on defense. So, yeah, you know what? Let's make sure the assistants get a chance to really, lock in. The guy up top, he's good. It just feels foolish, doesn't it? It feels foolish. And if it feels foolish, it might be foolish, in which case, don't do it. I would have had Evero calling every play for all 3 preseason games, going, you need all the work you can get, buddy. I've seen the film of our defense. And as much as the offense burst at the end, let's not act like it was the greatest show on turf out there. Right? It was not exactly the 2013 Broncos, 07 Patriots. Like, the same logic could be applied to Dave Canales. It's just it's kind of the player coach thing. Like, the head coach of Dave Canales, the CEO of the team, has to look at play caller Dave Canales and almost separate it and say, play caller Dave Canales needs all the reps he can get. It's no different than if you could guarantee a quarterback wouldn't get hurt in preseason, right? Because play callers, I guess they could get hurt if, like, some, standing on the sideline or something, tripping down the stairs. But they can't get hurt in preseason. So imagine how many reps you would give a player if you could guarantee they wouldn't get hurt. You'd give them all. You'd give them 75% at least, if you want to give 25% to the backups to get them ready. Like, if I'm Dave Canales, I'm taking that. And I don't get why you wouldn't. Again, until it is so obvious that you're ready and rearing to go, right? As soon as, if you're Kyle Shanahan, fine. Because Kyle Shanahan is a wizard play caller. Dave Canales isn't that yet. And by the way, I would be saying the same thing about those guys if they were going into their third year play calling. Like, it has nothing to do with Dave Canales' knowledge of offensive schemes. It's just preseason games are the closest thing you get to real reps. They're valuable. You only get so many of them. Again, we're talking with Mike Glennon later on in the show. We're airing a conversation from earlier today. And the thing that Mike always points out, and I forget about it every year, and then when we talk to him during preseason, he brings it up, is in practice, as a quarterback, there's always a bunch of people directly behind you. You always have coaches and other players and everything. They're like 7 yards behind you. And he goes, the first time you jog out there for preseason, it's like you're naked almost. You're out there and it feels like really alone, because especially if you're a backup or something like that and you haven't played in games that often. It's those little things about a preseason game that you're like, oh, yeah, this is different. Right? I don't care how many play calls you've called in a joint practice till you're sitting in a TV timeout for 3.5, 4 minutes, which you would never do in a joint practice, but in a preseason game you are, and you get to interact with the quarterback throughout that whole time in his headset, and he can't really talk back to you if you're in a booth, or he's out there on a field doing different things. Right? There's just certain parts of a preseason game that are more like games than anything else you could offer, and passing up the opportunity for a mediocre offense and a bad defense to use those limited reps to get better with your A team seems crazy to me. And then to turn around in the third game, where the starters aren't going to be playing, go, now I would like those reps. It's like, did you wait for everybody else that mattered to not be out there in order for you to jump in? I want my dress rehearsals to be with the whole starting cast. I would take less time with everybody out there than more time separated and divided. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will get to football at 4, and that's kind of the on-field stuff going on with the Panthers. There's a great idea for the front office of the Carolina Panthers. I'll tell you what that idea is coming up.
Genie log, day 15,824. Powerball jackpot's over $600 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $600 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox here for Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you're struggling with weight, like I have in the past, or maybe you've bounced from one fad diet to the next, you need to listen to this. I can proudly say that I'm down 25 pounds. That's right, 25 pounds in 3 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that's just the beginning. The program helps reset your metabolism naturally. No injections, no steroids, no shots, no HGH, just your body doing what it naturally can do, which is burn off that weight. My clothes fit better, I'm sleeping better, my resting heart rate's the lowest it's been in years, my girlfriend doesn't complain about me snoring anymore. Get yourself where you need to be with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Raleigh Weight Loss Center is having a huge end-of-summer sale offering up to 20% off now through August 29th with the lowest prices of the year on the amazing Raleigh Weight Loss program. Schedule your free consultation today by calling 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506 or online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from Soundstation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why Soundstation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with Soundstation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Variably cloudy skies for us this afternoon and warm with high temperatures in the upper 80s. Our chance for rain the next couple of days is minimal. We won't see any rain bands from Erin this far inland, but it will be blustery. We'll see some breezy conditions tonight and tomorrow with gusts up to 15 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight's low 73, tomorrow's high 88.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 3 points to 44,918.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Panthers. Hear me out. Adam Thielen to the Vikings.
Go on.
Huh? We're still listening?
Okay.
I feel like a salesperson where you're like, oh, you're actually walking over to my kiosk. Okay. All right. No, let's do this. Let's have this conversation. It's a really good idea, and you're just going to have to trust me. No, I'm kidding. So starting a couple weeks ago, I actually think it was Mike Kay, shout out to him, who kind of just casually in some of his reporting or on Twitter or something brought up that maybe Thielen could be a guy that the Panthers might look into moving.
He said it to me when I was talking to him when I was filling in for Adam Gold.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So Mike Kay with The Observer just kind of floated that out there a couple weeks ago. And I liked it then, right? Because I understood that for the first time in a while, it seemed like they had a surplus of wide receivers. And it was like, if you're going to trade one, trade the one that makes the most sense, that could get something of value back, that will not be a part of the long-term future, which would be like, I don't know, a guy that had a good season last year when healthy and is turning 35. Here's the Mike Kay audio. I'm being told we quickly brought that up behind the scenes. So here's Mike Kay.
I could see a contender coming by and being like, hey, we'll give you a fifth for Adam Thielen. And, I mean, you might be hard-pressed to say no if you even Hunter and think he can be a starting slot receiver.
So that at that point, you think about it, right? You think about what it would take. You think about what would the offer be. You think about, if this situation were to occur, right? That's what the front office does. You have to be prepared for everything. So, okay, if somebody were to approach us about Adam Thielen, what's our number? Then you think about where the Panthers are, right? You look internally and you go, are we going to win a Super Bowl this year? And as soon as the answer is no, you say, okay, will a player like Adam Thielen help us when we are ready to win a Super Bowl if it's not this year? And you go, no. Can we turn a player like Adam Thielen into a piece that might help us win a Super Bowl when we are ready to win a Super Bowl? Maybe. Okay, then we should be prepared if that situation were to arise. If someone else were to get desperate for a player we have, we should be prepared to make the move. And then what happens? Right? You're just prepared now, right? You've made no calls. You're not shopping him. You're just prepared and waiting for the right situation. Well, the Minnesota Vikings. Jordan Addison gets suspended for the first month plus of the season. He's one of their young stud wide receivers. JJ, meaning Justin Jefferson, misses most of the preseason with a hamstring injury. He's expected to be back for week 1, but if you know anything about hamstrings, they go quiet. They never go away. So they're probably a little nervous. And then you throw in J.J. McCarthy's taking over at quarterback, a young player, highly drafted, spent last year completely injured. Do you know how many yards he averaged per game in college during the national championship year for Michigan before he got drafted?
Not a lot.
Not even 200.
Yep.
You're looking at like 196. So now that guy is taking over the volume of a passing offense led by Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings that has to get Justin Jefferson his 1,500, that has to get T.J. Hawkinson his 10 touchdowns, that has to get Aaron Jones his catches out of the backfield, that has to do all of that. You're turning that to a rookie? And oh, by the way, no Addison, and you don't get many preseason reps with Jefferson. And oh, by the way, if you don't play great at the beginning of the year, everybody's going to talk about should have kept Darnold. Why are we rushing the new kid? He wasn't ready. He's not. You're taking a prime of Justin Jefferson and completely wasting it. You're going to hear all of that very quickly. So you have a desperate team. And then you look and you go, well, we like Adam Thielen. Good dude, right? He's been a leader. He's stood up front of the boat as we drove through some rough seas the past few years. Well, guess what? He's from Minnesota, made his name in Minnesota with the Vikings, played his college in Minnesota, still owns property in Minnesota, still owns big house on a lake in Minnesota. You can frame that one as, hey, Adam, you want to go home? You want to play for a better team this year? You want to play for a team that's trying to contend this year? You want to go nurture a young rookie quarterback like you've done here with Bryce, or not rookie, but first-year quarterback in J.J. McCarthy? I mean, the Panthers, hopefully a couple weeks ago when these conversations started, decided metaphorically that, we might sell a tire. Now we just have to wait for someone to have a flat. The Vikings have a flat. They are desperate for your specific tire, so the price won't be higher. Not to mention that Adam Thielen isn't getting younger, right? So with every passing day, he becomes a depreciating asset at a higher level, at a faster rate. So make the move. It's time, and for everything that Adam Thielen does very well, and there's a bunch of it. Okay, I don't want to downplay the benefits of keeping Adam Thielen. I do think he is a bit of a teddy bear in a thunderstorm for Bryce Young. I do think he is that comfort, that safety blanket. When things get crazy, he looks for a completion. He goes to Adam Thielen. I do think he is a veteran, wizened old he's not that old. He's about my age. But wizened NFL old wide receiver in the wide receiver room that can pass along the back when I played with Stephon Diggs, back when I played with Justin Jefferson lore to Tetero McMillan and Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker and that crew.
It's teaching guys how to be pros.
Even as far as like, hey, I saw the sticker on your car. You need to get your registration updated. He can be that, right? I'm not downplaying anything of the positive impacts that Adam Thielen can have on the Panthers. But I am looking around and going, it's like Moneyball, right? Can you replace that in the aggregate? Can David Moore be the old-timer that's teaching the guys how to be pros, teaching them how to watch film, teaching them how to stay healthy, teaching them how to not hit the rookie wall game 12? Can Hunter Renfrow be the one that's passing along the wizened old stories of playing in the teens? Can he be the guy passing those things down? Can Tetero McMillan be the safety blanket in a storm for Bryce? Can he be the guy he looks towards when things are getting crazy and he needs a completion? If he can't, you have bigger problems anyway, right? If McMillan can't do that, it doesn't matter how many good Adam Thielens you have, the offense is going to sputter because McMillan has to be good in order for this to work. He's the major difference between last year and this year, right? If McMillan can't be your target hog, then you're just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic with whoever else is on the offense. So, I don't think you're going to find another Adam Thielen, but you might find all of the key points that he impacts the team positively, one trait at a time from like 3-4 different dudes that you can keep, A, for cheaper, and B, outside of McMillan, and I don't think you make that move, I don't think you're getting anything for Moore or Renfro on the open market.
You're not.
So, if you could get what did Mike K say, a fifth?
Fifth?
If you can get a fifth for Renfro or Moore, do it. You're just not going to.
You're not.
So if you can get it for Thielen and then use those other guys to replace some of Thielen's role, it makes a ton of sense to me.
Plus, as well, you are replacing those game day snaps. Like, if you feel like Renfro can be a good slot receiver for you, then guess what? You have a guy right there. But you're also going to get more opportunities for guys like Coker to continue to grow. Jimmy Horn Jr., guess what? More snaps for you, more targets for you. That's only going to help the development of those guys as those guys get older.
I'm blanking on the author's name, the writer's name. I apologize. A local writer in a newspaper just wrote an article about sending or dropping his fourth and final kid at college. He had 3 sons and a youngest daughter, and he dropped off his daughter at South Carolina. And maybe I'll find out to make sure we give the hat tip where it's necessary. If I have to during the commercial break, I will.
Scott Fowler from Charlotte Observer.
Scott Fowler.
Yes.
Thank you very much. There you go, Observer. But to me, that's it's a bittersweet article about she's ready, she needs to go to college, but also, selfishly, I kind of am replaying all of the awesome moments of raising her and all. It's a very parent to nostalgic, whimsical article. Very well written. Check it out for yourselves. But I almost feel like that's the conversation Adam Thielen needs to have with some of these young wide receivers, right? I know you want me around. I know you need me to build your desk or whatever, your IKEA bookshelf. I know you need me to help hang these things. I'll do all of that, but then I have to go, right? You're ready, Jalen Coker. Bryce, I know you cling to me when things get tough. I'm always a phone call away, but you're ready. Go out with your friends, experience life. And oh, by the way, instead of when the mom or dad leaves the college, it's here's some cash for an emergency. Instead, it's here's a 5th round pick for an emergency. Right? I'll leave it in your desk. Don't say anything about it. It's not a big deal. I want you to pick up dinner with your roommate this weekend, right? Go have fun, get to know each other. Here's a 5th. Get a corner. You need one. It's that type of deal for Adam Thielen. You're not moving on from him because he's bad. You're moving on from him because other guys are ready to leave the nest. And you can get a 5th round pick. Or, who knows, a pick swap, 4th and 6th. I don't know what the value is on him, but it's more than 0. And the Panthers are not in the business of letting their assets dwindle down to 0. If the Panthers thought they could win the Super Bowl this year, I disagree with everything I just said, right? Because then you want depth at every position. You want to be able to handle 4-6 week injuries to studs. You want to have as many guys that you trust on the field as possible. They're not there yet.
Here's a scenario possibly, and Cohnbread brought this up here on our YouTube live chat. What if Thielen could be used in a player-for-player trade? Hey, you need depth at inside backer or you need a safety or whatever it might be. If there's a team has a surplus at that, then maybe you might find a player-for-player trade. If
it's out there. The hard part about predicting that from the outside, and we are we have sources, but we are on the outside, is you don't know Dan Morgan's evaluation of guys.
True.
Right? Last year when they traded Michael Barrett for Mike Jackson, their 7th round pick, they traded him for Mike Jackson, who's a corner now that's kind of part of the core defense. We didn't know they were high on Mike Jackson. There's no way for us to know that. So, I could go look through, the Vikings depth chart and find some corner that I like on their third string and go, they should trade him 1-for-1. But it's like Dan Morgan might go, no, I didn't like him when he came out of Cincinnati or whatever it was. Yeah, right? But yes, if you can get a corner, off-ball backer, maybe an edge rusher, maybe. I don't think you're bringing back anything of value as far as edge rusher because of position importance.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can find a position, particularly on defense, that you think will slot right into playing significant reps, yeah, I'm fine with that. As long as I'll make one caveat there. I want him 27 or younger. I don't want to trade for another guy in his 30s because then you might as well just keep Thielen, right? Then the window isn't changing at all. 27 or younger at a position of need, heck, even if there's like a wide receiver you like that's 26, but this team's given up on him, maybe because they want somebody that's like ready now and you can let him develop a bit. Who knows? Although then you're back to cutting more maybe, which becomes more complicated. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is a great idea. Trading Adam Thielen. Hurts to say. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what else is a great idea? And it doesn't hurt to say? Going to Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. I actually got my dad for Christmas this past year, a Hamilton khaki scuba dive watch from Bailey's. It's a really cool deal. I've become kind of obsessed with learning about dive watches because just the mechanisms that go into automatic and mechanical watches. Right, you don't need a battery. They keep precise time down to a couple seconds of variance per day. Like that is absurd to me. Then you throw in the fact that you can go scuba diving with it. And it's completely airtight, and the technology is such that a scuba diver can literally have their life depend on it keeping sound time at the bottom of the ocean, and it works. That's pretty darn cool to me. That's why I got one for my dad. And you might want to get one for you or your dad or your significant other, your child. It's a great graduation gift or getting ready to go to college gift, sentimental like we were just talking about. Go ahead and check them out. They're durable as well, right? If you're scuba diving with them, they got to be able to put up with a little bit of wear and tear. So check out the Hamiltons. You can check out Rolex, pre-owned and vintage Rolex dive watches. Obviously the Omegas. There's a bunch of them, and they're all pretty cool. And the granddaddy of them all, right? The grandfather of modern dive watches. Blancpain 50 Fathoms, also available at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. So stop by and check them out, and when you're there, let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan, or follow them on Twitter, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. On Instagram, at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is the handle. We'll take a break. When we come back, ladder challenge, see how we're fighting through the week, and another blind ranking. We'll get there next. Stick around.
Get ready.
Concepcion touchdown, 13 yards. NC State leads North Carolina with 8:01 to play.
College football kicks off August 23rd.
Jones a first down and more. 10-5. They've tied the game. Bully ball by the Duke offense. Down the far sideline. Caught at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right. I've got one funny fact to get to just pass along, and one quick rant before we get to our ladder challenge. Fox Sports, Fox College Football to be specific, decided, and they put this on their social media, to run 50 simulations of the 2025 college football season on EA Sports College Football 26, the video game. So they just simulated the whole thing.
Just everybody.
Everybody. Every team in all of college football. And they posted a graphic with all 50 national champions. Clemson won 8 of them. Georgia, 8 of them. Penn State, 8 of them. Miami, 4. Oregon, 4. Guess who snuck their way in with a national championship?
App State.
Duke Blue Devils.
Oh, look at Duke.
Duke and Notre Dame and Texas and Nebraska and Alabama and Florida and Indiana tied with 1 national championship out of the 50.
Let's go.
Duke. How about it? Which does put the ACC, there's, let's see here, 8 for Clemson, 4 for Miami, and 1 for Duke. That's what the ACC had. And we'll take like a 4th of Notre Dame's because, I just want it. Look at it, 13 and a 4th national championships out of 50.
It's a good percentage.
I'll take a better than, better than 20%, right? That's up there over a 5th. Way to go. If the game is right. Second thing.
It's over 26% for your honor in math.
Oh, yeah, I said over a 5th. That's all I needed, right?
Yeah.
Could have said over an 8th. Now we're just, never mind. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The other thing that I want to just quickly rant on is in a world where it is very obvious, like journalism currency to be first.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just take a quick break on the sky is falling injury reporting? So I won't put this particular person on blast.
You should. I don't know who it is, but you should.
But Lamar Jackson was taken out of practice about 40 minutes early with trainers and coaches tending to him. And what was reported was he got hit, knocked down while making a throw, which doesn't happen that often to a multiple-time MVP in practice. So he got knocked down, making a throw, and then appeared to be flexing his hand and wrist. Do you know what it ended up being? Somebody stepped on his foot, and he's completely fine. Come on now. For those of us that happen to be invested in Lamar Jackson having a very good – it went from like throwing hand and wrist, being knocked down on a throw, to somebody stepped on his foot. He had an owie, and he walked inside. Because if you told me he stepped on his foot, like he hurt his foot, but he was walking in under his own power with trainers, I'm like, all right, it must not be that bad. He's fine, no limp. But if you tell me it's his wrist and he's walking in with trainers, I'm like, it might be broken, right? And now I got just wait till the details are there. Goodness gracious. Even Adam Schefter then tweeted out later, when Lamar Jackson left practice, he appeared to be flexing his wrist, but a Ravens spokesman said Jackson got his foot stepped on and he's fine. Just reel it in a little bit. Do you remember, what was it? Right at the beginning of training camp. Remember Justin Fields? It was like he tore his Achilles. Turns out he had dislocated a non-big toe, and it was popped back in, and he was back at practice the next day. But everybody, fearing Achilles. And it happened one other as well. There was another player who was like, oh, no, the world is over. Never mind, he's going to be back for conditioning at the end of practice. Reel it in a little bit here. Save somebody a heart attack, metaphorically. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. With that being said, now let's get that I've gotten that off my chest, let's get our competitive juices flowing a bit with the ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear of Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
So here's the deal, everybody. Ladder challenge, you know what it is by now. We make small, likely-to-win bets, but we roll over the stakes and the winnings every single day. And whoever has the most money at the end of the month is the winner. If you get one wrong, you gotta eat your crow, slice a humble pie, and you start back at $10. Dennis, how'd it go for you last night?
Went quite well for me yesterday. Actually, something that actually benefited you as well. I had David Peterson of the New York Mets, their starting pitcher, just to give up one or more earned runs yesterday. He gave up that one earned run in a 8-1 Mets win, which is what I said yesterday. Hey, best of both worlds.
We could
right?
both win. We both won. Because I'm a Mets fan. That wasn't my bet, but I do appreciate the Mets seemingly getting back on track a little bit.
So I got up to $27.38.
I also had a no-sweat win. I had Hunter Green of Cincinnati, the Reds, 5 or more strikeouts versus the Angels. I openly have admitted these midweek baseball-only days to bet on. I'm just trying to escape baseball. He had 12 strikeouts. I needed 5. He had 12. Love it.
Did the job.
It was minus 1,000, so it turned my $11 into $12.10 as I slowly build up my bankroll. Dennis, as the leader right now, you get to go ahead and lead off for tonight.
So I'm going to go back to baseball once again. Drew Rasmussen pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays tonight, taking on the New York Yankees. It's actually a home game for the Rays, who happen to be playing at the Yankees spring training facility. So give me Drew Rasmussen to give up at least one earned run tonight. It's a minus 700. So my $27.38 will turn into $31.29.
I am also going to baseball, and I am also, once again, just trying to escape. Let me get to tomorrow when there's I believe, football games on.
I mean, Steelers, Panthers tomorrow.
And I don't like betting on the Panthers, but if it's the only one, I'd rather go football with the Panthers than anything with baseball. Colin Ray, pitcher, taking on the Brewers. He needs to allow at least one earned run. That's all. Brewers are a wagon, so I'm told. Just one earned run is all I'm looking for. It's minus 650. As long as he does that, I escape another day of betting on baseball. It would turn my $12.10 into $13.96, and I can find the oasis in the scary, scary desert of a football game starting up tomorrow. So Colin Ray, I need you to allow at least one earned run versus the Brewers tonight, and I will be extremely grateful. That's the ladder challenge. Let's get to something a little bit more fun and less nerve-wracking for me. Actually, it's actually more nerve-wracking, but it's also fun. Let's get to a blind ranking.
All right, so this is how a blind ranking works. For anyone who hasn't seen this or heard this before, a blind ranking is very simple. Tim is going to rank Carolina Panthers jerseys in terms of like players that kind of have the most swag to them. Like if you're seeing around wearing a Panthers jersey, which one is the most swaggiest, I guess you could say?
The way I'm taking this is you're hanging with your buddies and somebody walks into a room wearing a Panthers jersey. Which one gets the biggest pop of like, oh, that's a dope jersey. Yeah. That's cool. That's a good one. Not necessarily the best player, not necessarily the best like design of a jersey, like not, I like the way the stripes were, or I like the blue shade that whatever it is. No, we're talking about like just pure who gets the most pop for like, that's an awesome jersey, which probably has to be a little rare. I know I'm going to use my justification as we go.
All right, so you get Tim does not know the names I'm going to give him. He has to blindly rank these 1 through 5. And once a position is used up, that's it. Okay, first one here. Steven Davis.
Steven Davis is good.
Yeah, Steven, that's throwback Panther right there.
That is good. And I like that's like what was it, 48?
48.
That is a block running back number, which is it harkens back to a time in the past. I'm going 2.
Steven Davis at 2.
Because it's a deep pull, and it automatically leans into now we're going to sit here and name players from that era for the next half hour. You bring up Steven Davis, then you're to Sean Alexander, and then you're to Thomas Jones, and now you're just talking running backs. Now you're in the thick of it. Marshall Faulk pops up there, but he's too big of a name, so you go to who was that other guy, and you're suddenly Correll Buckhalter's being mentioned. There's Steven Davis is a good one. I like that.
All right, next one. Captain Munnerland.
It's a good one. Don't get me wrong. It's a good that guy. Here's the only issue with it. I don't know if it's as recognized. Like, I'd have to see Munnerland. You're walking in from the front. I don't know if it's swaggy enough. I'm going to go 5 for Captain Munnerland.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's a good pull though, and it's a good the question that leads to is where in the world did you get a Captain Munnerland? Did you get this at the time? Is this an original?
I mean, yeah, he was there 2015 through 2017, so yeah, he was a big part of that Super Bowl team.
Good player. Again, this is not a quality of player. It's a quality of swaggy jersey.
All right, next one here. Jake Delhomme.
Delhomme would be a contender for one of the top spots if Cam Newton didn't exist. Because by comparison, Cam Newton is just the swaggiest, and Jake Delhomme is less, I guess you would say. And also, you don't get any rare points for finding a quarterback jersey, right? You don't there's a lot of 17 Delhomme jerseys out there. You know what I mean? So it's not a hard find. If you go into I'm sure if you go into a Carolina thrift store, there's a good chance there's going to be a Delhomme jersey in there somewhere. So I'm going to go 4 for Jake Delhomme.
Okay, so we've gone Steven Davis so far. You put at number 2. The next one after that, we had Captain Munnerland. You put 5. Jake Delhomme, you put at number 4. So you have number 1 and you have number 3
I'm
available.
hoping you got some bombs about to drop, just some heavy hitters.
Tim Biakapatuka.
I think this is one. Biakapatuka is a vibe. And the jersey is swaggy. It harkens to an early Panthers where it was all new. It was all
drafted in 96, remember correctly.
It is all fresh. Biakapatuka, I'm even better, right? I'm sitting here trying to put it on my list. No clue how to spell Biakapatuka. But I'm rolling with it. I think Biakapatuka is inner circle Hall of Fame Panthers jersey. So I'm going number 1, Tim Biakapatuka.
Okay, so we have Steven Davis at number 2. You have Captain Munnerland at number 5. You have Jake Delhomme at number 4. Tim Biakapatuka at number 1, which leaves you number 3 wide open, which means number 3 goes to D'Angelo Williams.
That's fair. That's fantastic. This is the first. We've been doing blind rankings now for a month. This is the first one I feel good about. As far as if you're hanging out with, or another way to put it, if you're at a tailgate and you're camped out, you got the camping chair, you got a brat of some kind and a bun, and you're ready to have a meal, drink in your cup holder, and people are walking by, I think in order of who you would stop and say, that's a great jersey, this is pretty darn close.
Yeah.
I don't think you're stopping a Jake Delhomme jersey. Because you're going to see a bunch of them. You might go it's a Delhomme jersey. It's a good one. Munnerland, same thing. You might not even recognize it till they're walking by. And you're like, oh, that was a Munnerland jersey. But if you see a Biakapatuka, hey, Timmy B, Biakapatuka, you're yelling. Steven Davis, same thing. And D'Angelo Williams probably right there in the middle. A running back, right, the Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams thing. There's 1 Biakapatuka, 2 Steven Davis, 3 D'Angelo Williams, 4 Jake Delhomme, 5 Captain Munnerland. They're all solid picks. But this is the first time I actually feel really good about a blind ranking.
It's a solid blind ranking.
Would you change any? Do any of those stick out to you as I missed? I noticed I didn't ask this when all of them were ones I missed on other ones.
Yeah.
But now I'm so confident. I'm no, poke holes in this, Dennis. Go ahead.
Maybe Munnerland at 4. just because you see it a little bit more rarely than you do DeLone, but that's really about it. But, I mean, honestly, I can't really complain about it too much. The Bianca Patuka jersey is just that's just a cool name.
Yeah, like 65% of how cool his jersey is just Bianca Patuka.
Yeah.
Like if you see a Bianca Patuka jersey walking by, you almost just want to prove to whoever's wearing it that you know how to say it. You just want to go like, Bianca Patuka, see? Nailed it.
Yep.
Swag Panther jerseys, blind ranking, in the books. Thank you for setting that up, Dennis.
Oh, my pleasure.
Would you mind setting up our very first hit it and quit it as well?
I want you to hit
it. All right, so this first one, hit it and quit it. It's all about the Benjamins, right? We always hear about money. It's all about money. It's all about the money, all about the money. Well, imagine having roughly $38 million come to your local economy because the Savannah Bananas show up for a couple of days. Because that's exactly what happened, Tim.
Okay, explain more.
So this one, so Steve Reed of the Associated Press posted this earlier today. The Charlotte Sports Foundation, which they kind of work on big events that impact Charlotte, so they kind of work with the Jumpman Invitational, the Dukes Mayo Classic, and things along those lines. They announced today that the economic impact from the Savannah Bananas, the touring baseball team, came to Charlotte for a couple days, and they sold out Bank of America Stadium on 2 separate days. The economic impact was a whopping $38.6 million. That's based on a report generated by the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority. So we talk always about big events coming to cities. $38.6 million of economic impact because a barnstorming, fun-loving baseball team where the games actually really don't matter sold out Bank of America a couple of times on back-to-back days. That's the level of economic impact. And to kind of tie that in here locally, why do you think NC State's trying to get big events and stuff to come to Carter Finley? It's because the money involved with it.
It's
plain and simple.
At the risk of joining sides with the big evil billionaires, when teams ask for like state or city or whatever financial support to build stadiums, stats like that are kind of why the state can justify it, right? Because all right, we'll put up this money, and then $38.6 million of economic impact when the Savannah Bananas come to town. That's money that's going to local hotels, local business owners, local restaurants, the parking lots in the area. Like all of that is money that goes into their, residents' pockets. So it is. If you run it well, you should be able to have events like the Savannah Bananas. Obviously not the Savannah Bananas. If you do it too often, it would lose its luster. But concerts and games and exhibitions and events and everything else, if you have those enough, the financial impact on your community is pretty high. So credit to them. And also, then the other thing is once you have like a Carter Finley trying to hold bigger events, it's about making sure you have the structure around your community to take advantage of it, right? You want to have the restaurants open nearby, maybe walking distance, maybe an entertainment district. You want to have all of the ways that you can turn people coming to your area. I have a stat here also from the Charlotte Sports Foundation. 50% of the attendees, which were 148,000 over 2 days.
Yeah, they literally sold out Bank of America back-to-back days.
50% of those attendees traveled at least 50 miles to the event. So these are people from out of town coming in, spending their dollars in town, which is good for the economics of your community.
Just think about, again, big festivals and big events that take place here in Raleigh. For example, back in 2023, because of the most recent numbers I could find, the Dreamville Festival at Dix Park, which is J. Cole's, the hip-hop artist, his major event that he's put on in Raleigh for the last several years. In 2023, Raleigh raked in $145.9 million in economic impact from Dreamville, which is a 2-day festival. And that's 50-ish thousand people per day. Again, we talk about these major events that take place. I mean, look at the economic impact that GalaxyCon has had on Raleigh now that it's 4 days at the Raleigh Convention Center. Just the amount of hotels and everything spent. So when you see, NC State and Boo Corrigan talk about, hey, we're partnering with this company to bring events to Carter Finley, concerts and these, imagine the Savannah Bananas playing at Carter Finley. Like, that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to talk about getting money into your schools, into your area. These kinds of things make a major, major impact.
Economic mathematicians are also impressive. How do they know these numbers? I'm not questioning them. I'm just going, yeah, it's impressive. All right, let's quit that. Let's hit this.
What?
Rory McIlroy revealed on it was like a sit-down podcast that at the Masters, which he won to complete the Grand Slam, a career goal of his that he had agonized over for more than a decade. He bought 1,100 pin flags to take home. 1,100 Augusta pin flags from that Master. So he basically walked into the pro shop, which there are two different. He doesn't go to the merch shop that everybody dreams of going to when you win the lottery and get to go to the Masters. There's a players only pro shop. He walked in and said, "How many pin flags are there? I'll take them all," and then slammed the credit card down because he's got it like that. 1,100, which you may say, why in the world would he want 1,100? It's an autograph thing, and now he has 1,100 opportunities to make people's day, essentially. I assume he'll keep some for himself and his family and everything else. But here's what I believe is Rory's plan. Somebody he knows hits him up. "Hey, we're doing a silent auction for cancer in Cincinnati. We're going to fight the disease. Can you send something?" He goes into his basement storage locker, which is probably as big as most of our houses, grabs one of the 1,100 Augusta things, signs it off, sends it off. There you go. He has somebody does a solid for him. He crashes, or not crashes, he has a flat tire, some good Samaritan pulls up, helps him out, changes the tire with him, whatever. Not only does he give a little financial kickback to the guy, like, "Hey, here's a couple $100. There you go, appreciate the help. Well, by the way, what's your address? I want to send you something." Boom, Augusta National flag, sign it, send it off. Like, it's just becomes one of the cooler, tips you can leave around town, which is cool for Rory. You know what else I like about it, Dennis?
What's that?
I like that he's not acting too cool for winning the Masters. Like, you can tell he's super excited that he achieved this goal. He's, I think some major champions might walk in and get, I don't need a souvenir. I expected to win this. He's like, "Nah, I've been working really hard for this. I was the best golfer in the world for multiple years and didn't win this. Finally got it. Finally got the metaphorical gorilla off my back. I'm going to celebrate this one. I want 1,100 pin flags. I want koozies. I want tumblers. I want ball markers. I want the little gnomes that they sell here. I want everything. I'll pay for the U-Haul to get it back to my house."
How much is that shirt? Doesn't matter. Add it.
Yeah. I want hats. I don't even wear hats. I want hats.
Just deduct it from my winnings.
Seriously.
Is that what they do?
My guess is
take it out of my winnings.
They know Rory's good for it.
Yeah.
We'll get the money somehow. The Masters is about to cut you a check for $4 million. I think you can run up $100,000 here, and we'll know we'll get it. That's cool though. I like it. I like the vibe. And also, by the way, he walked away with a pretty valuable green jacket that he gets to keep for a year and then has to store at Augusta National. Let's quit that. And then they didn't quit it. We ran out of time there. Wow, time didn't get to as much as we'd want to. Wow, that was fast. That was a good time. Right now, The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending and Gordon Miller. Mortgage rates, there are a few things. I said, economic mathematicians are impressive. Yeah, they are. I don't pretend to know how you could predict the mortgage rate market, and I don't think anybody, even the smartest economic mathematicians, can truly predict what's going to happen next. But what you can do is be prepared no matter what happens next. And that's what a no-cost loan with Gordon Miller and Miller Lending does. If rates go up after you lock in your mortgage, you're locked in, right? You don't have to worry about it. Your rate's already locked in. However, if rates go down after you lock in your mortgage, if you just paid thousands of dollars in closing costs, you're bummed. You're like, I'm going to have to pay it again to get this refi. That's closing costs twice within 6 months. Why did I do that to myself? Oh, wait. With Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, you don't pay closing costs at all. Rates go down 6 months from now, refinance, no money out of your pocket. If rates drop again 6 months from then, do it again. If they drop again 2 years from then, do it again. We have people in the office that have gone back to Miller Lending multiple times over to refinance. They've left satisfied and with a lower monthly payment every single time. You can as well. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at Miller Lending. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. When we come back, Mike Glennon stopped by the studio earlier today. NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback, 10-year vet, to talk about developing Bryce Young, how much should a quarterback play in the preseason, and his outlook for NC State's season. If you want to hear that, you got to stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
A lesson learned this month, courtesy of some student athletes paying people via Venmo. When you're transferring money to friends, don't use real descriptions. Don't say sports gambling, especially if you're a student athlete playing sports. Try something different, like hide it under pizza or maybe feet pics.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Genie log, day 15,824. Powerball jackpot's over $600 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $600 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50 at any size Sprite for $1.49. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Welcome back into The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us in studio for our first of many visits during football season for this year. Mike Glennon, NC State legend, 10-year NFL veteran, quarterback. We bring him in to do really 2 things for us. 1, discuss NC State football, and 2, help us get into the mind of quarterbacks and quarterback development and what it's like going from offense to offense, because he's been in so darn many of them. So Mike, we'll start there, then we'll circle back to State. In football theory, right, what is the right amount? We're talking, obviously, this sparks from Bryce Young. What's the right amount to play in preseason for a young quarterback? He played 2 drives in week 1, 1 3 and out, and then a long touchdown drive. 2 drives in week 2, 2 3 and outs, pretty ugly. And now he's not going to be playing in week 3. What's the right amount in, like, just theoretical terms?
I think you want to get out there and you want to get that feeling of being hit again. I mean, It's been a long time, and there's just a different feeling when you practice, there's always people standing behind you. There's coaches talking. There's just a different feel that almost when you walk out on the field for the first time for a game, it's almost like this like naked feeling. Like it's just completely different environment than what practice is. So you want to get some. I don't mind not playing much more than a couple series a game, but the second game going bad, you almost want to leave it on a little better note. If you know you're not going to play in the third one, let's go another series, try to get it going a little more. So I think you want to get the feeling of starting the game, you want to get the feeling of getting hit, and you want the feeling of some sort of success to leave a good taste in your mouth to head into the season.
Can coaches, and this is what you never know, because there's two things that happen if you make any kind of statement about preseason in the NFL. Fans will yell at you that preseason doesn't matter at all, and then fans will yell at you that they're keeping their playbook hidden and they don't want to show anything. If you're a coach and a play caller specifically, and you want your quarterback to go on a high note, can you open like 3 more pages of the playbook and almost not guarantee, but increase your chances of success a lot more than just running, the dives up the middle and 4 hitches?
I don't think you need to. There's enough in the game plan. They're going to keep it simple, but there's enough in the game plan where you should be able to execute, because typically on the other side of the ball, the defense is running stuff that's pretty simple too. So it works both ways. I mean, you don't need to go in and dial up a bunch of stuff to get that good feeling. You should just be able to execute the basic offense and go from there.
Mike Glennon, NC State quarterback and 10-year NFL veteran, connecting with us here in studio for The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan here in the Lenovo studio. What's the right amount of yelling from a coach? Or can you take us through maybe coaches you've had, and I know you've had a bunch of them in the league, because Dave Canales of the Panthers, one of the things that I'm still waiting on is like a well-placed chewing out of the team. They were, quite frankly, bad in preseason game 2, and he's just so utterly upbeat and everything. And I think sometimes a coach needs to dig into the toolbox and take out the chainsaw and throw a chair. Do you agree with that? And are there examples kind of coaches in any category that come out to your mind?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is there's like 2 extremes. And there was a video recently that surfaced on YouTube or on social media of Pete Carroll, as Professor Pete Carroll, lecturing the class about kind of the difference between him and Bill Belichick. And there's the authoritative approach, which is the military way, and that's the Patriot way. And I lived that with Joe Judge and the New York Giants. And that is, you are very rarely going to be acknowledged for your success, and we are going to call you out in front of the whole team when you mess up. Everyone's fair game. The best player on the team to the worst player of the game, we're going to call you out no matter what. And then there's the Pete Carroll approach, which is the Dave Canales tree, which is we're going to build you up. We're going to be super positive. And I think everyone's different. I do imagine Pete Carroll has a tone in his voice, never playing with him, but I imagine he has got a little bit of a tone change where the players know he means a little bit more business right now. I'm going to keep it upbeat, but this tone change is a little different. And from the sounds of it, Dave Canales has not done that yet?
I haven't. If he has, it's such a subtle tone change that I don't, at least not to the media, right? Who knows what he's doing behind closed doors?
Right. And it sounds like Ben Johnson is kind of bringing that to Chicago. Like maybe he's a little bit of a mix of it too, but it sounds like, you see the stuff about Luther Burden, who had, seems like he may be a little bit ahead of case, and he's kind of laid into him. And then they're saying in his first preseason game, he looked like he gave more effort than they ever saw in college. So every coach is going to be different, and I don't think you change your philosophy. But if I'm Dave Canales and I'm going to be a positive, upbeat guy, I might need to change my tone a little bit to let them know, like, hey, guys, this was not good enough.
And I don't know, maybe it's a respect thing, but like Pete Carroll, it didn't work, by the way, with the Patriots. Then he won one bunch of national championships, and it's almost like if you have that level of backing of success, maybe you don't have to get as amped up because like a little comment goes further. It just seemed like everybody was a little too cool after a bad performance in the preseason, which that's what it was, bad performance. Just because you brought up your time with the Giants with Joe Judge, we're talking with Mike Glennon. Daniel Jones, starter in the NFL once again, one of your teammates there with the Giants. Why? I guess why would the Colts roll with Danny Dimes?
Well, I think there must be stuff going on somewhat almost behind the scenes with Anthony Richardson. I mean, you saw they benched him last year. He's got all the talent in the world, so it's like, what's the issue? One, it's inconsistency. I mean, you watch the games, and he has a couple throws a game where it's like that wasn't even close, which you can't do that in the NFL. 2, he doesn't see the field great. You saw the sack. I mean, everyone in the world still felt like they were dissecting that sack he took.
5-man
against
protection,
Baltimore,
slid it the wrong way.
He was wrong. I mean, he was hot. Like, that is basic day one install. He was hot there, and he missed it. So it's like, well, maybe he hasn't grown from the mental side. Accuracy,
that's also a mistake. The crazy part is you make that mistake once, and you very rarely make it again because that's a kill shot, right? You just gave up your chest to an NFL defensive end. You'd think from that point on forever. It's like any of us. If you pinch your finger in the car door for the rest of your life, every time someone's setting a car door, you're jumping your hands away. Like, he got lit up. You would think it would only take 1 or 2 of those
and this is year
to
3.
be on top of it.
Like,
exactly.
If that's year 1, that's one thing. This is year 3 now. Like, you can't be making those mistakes anymore. And the next thing is they paid Daniel like a starter. I mean, I think he's making $15-ish million a year. Like,
I believe so.
You typically don't pay someone that much to come in to be the backup. So I felt from the moment they signed him that he was likely to be the starter. But it did seem, this is Twitter highlights, but it seemed like Anthony Richardson was having a better camp than he has shown in the past. So I thought, look, maybe they'll try to make it work with him just because he is their top 3 pick from 3 years ago. But now they're going with Daniel, and I do think it'll make the Colts better just because I think Daniel, although he can be somewhat of a unfortunately people laugh at him because he was a Giants quarterback and had some moments. He's in my opinion a more consistent, better player than Anthony Richardson. So I think particularly the receivers and all those guys are going to benefit from it.
Had some moments doing a lot of work in that sentence. But with him starting, right, Drake May in New England, Russell in New York, all 3 teams in the Triangle with a starting quarterback. It's quarterback epicenter right here in the Triangle, North Carolina. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of the colleges in the Triangle, you played your college ball at State, so we'll go to their quarterback, C.J. Bailey, a guy that maybe wasn't a huge part of the plans going into last year, became a huge part of the plans and impressed. How excited are you, and what are you most excited to see from him this year?
I just want to see the next. I mean, to see the development, see the next step. What has he done in the offseason to improve his game? He came in as a true freshman and played really well. Of course, there are going to be things to work on, but just seeing his body, he's a bigger guy. He's put on muscle, and I'm sure the confidence that he has going into the season. I just want to see him play and see the big jump from freshman year to sophomore year, what it looks like. And I know the guys are going to rally around him, and it's the receivers around him. He's got good talent. I mean, he's going to have plenty of guys to throw to. Hollywood Smothers, our running back, is going to be exciting to watch. Another guy that I think is going to be in the NFL. So I'm excited to see C.J. Bailey play and just kind of see what has he done this offseason to take the next step.
Dave Doran, how much pressure is on him going into this year?
I think there is a good amount. I mean, it's the last 2 years he's finished the season strong where I didn't feel like there was a ton of pressure. This year, with the way 6-7, the season ended last year being 6-7, losing to an ECU in the bowl game was a kind of left a bad taste in fans' mouth. Pile on, Kevin Keats gets fired a year after going to the Final Four. They bring in this new exciting guy who fans are loving.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is definitely some pressure on Dave heading into this year.
If you want more from Mike on NC State specifically, go ahead and check out the Pack Therapy podcast. It'll be available. First episode of the season out in short order. You can find it on podcast software everywhere. Subscribe, like, all those things. YouTube. He and I host the pod, and we'll dive all the way in to NC State football for more. We'll be back with more of The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan with football at 4. No, excuse me, the starting 5 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
If we're going to do a quick power ranking right now of second-year QBs, you're saying Jaden 1.
Yes.
2 Knicks.
Correct.
3.
May.
Which would leave us 4 Caleb.
At best. You got J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix Jr. I would have all 3 of those guys in the hat. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams is 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams was 6th.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
New to the area? Let me be the first to welcome you. I'm Marcy Bailey of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We've been family owned and part of North Carolina since 1948. We have a tradition of being voted the best jewelry store with an unparalleled selection of designer jewelry, fine diamonds, engagement rings, watches, and gifts to commemorate all your special occasions. We look forward to sharing our award-winning service and stunning jewels with you. Visit us today in store or at baileybox.com to see why every woman wants a Bailey box.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. A mix of sun and clouds out there today. Just a little bit breezy at times with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies. We'll get down to 73. Mostly cloudy skies on the way Thursday. It will be breezy at times with a high of 88.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, up 16 points to 44,938.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting five, it is back tomorrow. Second annual Numbers Game live show presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill takes place tomorrow. 7 o'clock is the projected starting time. We'll get it done pretty close to then, or get it started pretty close to then. All of the perfect players from a year's worth of Numbers games here on The Drive have been invited. A bunch of them have RSVP'd. They'll be there. We have the bracket set. We know how it's going to go. We know how the rounds are going to play. And at the end of it, we will know who is the greatest Numbers Game champion. It'll all take place at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs. You can watch along as we crown our champion live on our YouTube stream. The live stream, just search 99.9 The Fan. The whole channel is there. Like it. Check out some videos. Subscribe. And be ready tomorrow at 7 when we live stream our Numbers Game competition. If you jump into the comments, you might just hear your comment read live during the event. Special thanks to Onsite AV, a full-service event production company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game live. We are expecting last year's champion, Preston, to be in attendance, trying to defend his title, defend his crown. We have a bunch of worthy challengers trying to become the new king of the hill of the Numbers Game. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are as well. I'm also looking forward to the starting five, so let's get into that, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
More life in the step of the Canes. Another free puck off a deflection. Chatfield, they're going to keep firing away, and they score. Fost makes it 4-1.
Yesper Fost, a.k.a. Quickie, is recently retired as a player. He was actually on the roster for this past year, even though he was injured going back to the last game of the previous year. But he's now been announced, recently retired player, as a addition to the Canes development staff. I love this. Actually, 3 reasons. One, it seems like Yesper Fost is just a guy that everybody really enjoyed and everybody likes being around, and having those players and people around your business, your franchise, that's just good, right? So let's start with the obvious. You like when presumed and assumed good people get opportunities. So good for Yesper Fost. But for 2 other reasons why I love him on the development staff. I love a guy that has scored big goals to be working with the young players, because they come with like an automatic cachet. They come with like an automatic respect. It's like, oh, you don't know why you should listen to me? Let me play you this clip real quick. Game winner, series winner, overtime winner. All right, now, when I tell you to put your feet like this, or when I tell you to do this drill, now you listen, right? I've been where you want to go. I've scored the goals that you want to score. 5:30 a.m. tomorrow on the ice. Like, yeah. You just come with certain cachet.
You know, when we talk about players that sign with the Canes or guys that trade for or traded for by Carolina, like, for example, like Logan Stankoven, you're like, yeah, that guy's a Cane. I remember when Yesper Fost signed with the Carolina Hurricanes, you're like, yeah, that guy's built for this team. He's a Rob Brindamore type player. Like, he's that guy's a Cane. And he goes out there on the ice and it's like, yeah, that's 100% what he is. Like, he's just, that guy's a Cane.
That guy's a Cane. Jersey fits. The last reason I'll talk about that I really like Yesper Fost in a specific like development role. I love a 6th round pick that played 700 career games being involved in development, right? Because I always think it's funny when, not funny, but I imagine the conversations could be humorous when like a 2nd overall pick becomes a coach. And it's like, I don't know, just be big, tall, strong, and fast, right? Like, if you were one of those...
Skate past the guy.
Yeah, if you were one of those prospects that was built in a lab, I'm not sure I want you working with, like, you know, my grinders that are just trying to, you know, find a role in the 4th line in the bigs. There's a role for you to work with other, like, you know, specimens. But, you know, I always equate it to, like, why I don't think Michael Jordan would be a good basketball coach. Because he would go, all right, let's pause the film. When you catch the ball here, I need you to blow by your guy and dunk it from the free throw line. And every player's like, Michael, the rest of us can't do that, right? Yesper Fost is going to say, like, all right, when you find yourself in this situation, here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to work on. I know because I had to get through these situations as well as a 6th round pick, not the guy, biggest, tallest, strongest, fastest, but somebody that, like you said, is going to play, do the right thing, make the right decisions, not be out of position because I don't have the athleticism to recover. Like those things are there. So I always think like backup point guards, like 3rd line wingers and centers, like those are the guys I want on my development staff. And Yesper Fost obviously kind of fits into that.
That's why Wayne Gretzky was never a good coach.
Yeah, Wayne's going at this point, got to pass it here. It's like, well, I never even looked over there. Yeah, you just feel it.
Feel what?
Yeah, well, I don't spider tingling sense. I don't have that, Wayno. Okay, well then we're gonna have to figure this out. we're gonna have to work on some things. Good job on Yesper Fost. Good job to everybody that also joined in on the decision making process to bring him back. That's number 5. Well, actually, Dennis, you're obviously heavily involved in covering the Canes. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I think
perfect.
It's great to add. I think you hit everything nail on the head.
Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Assist on the basket.
Wall, leave him on a Eunice. And a hammer!
Speaking of good dudes, John Wall retired officially yesterday. Now, he had been out of the league for a little while now, still collecting checks for a while now, but end of his career, obviously dealing with some injuries and so on and so forth. John Wall, to me, has like 2 separate legacies, okay? One is injuries robbed him of being an all-time great, right? If you look at the way his career was on a trajectory after being the number 1 pick out of Kentucky, and you may not believe it now, he had the Wizards as like a contender. Like they were one of the handful of teams in the East going into a couple seasons where you're like, all right, if they win, it makes sense. And his running mates at the time were like Marcin Gortat. Like it wasn't the craziest deal. He eventually got Bradley Beal later on. But then the injuries started adding up. He was such an explosive player, fast player, that when the injuries started taking things from him, it was noticeable. He kind of goes in like the Derrick Rose category with that, where it's like, no, if you watched him at the end of your career, you don't realize what you missed watching him at the beginning of his career when he had all of his spring. Then there's also like the off the court stuff. Many of you in the area are aware of this, but I actually think maybe many of you aren't, because he's from here, right? He's North Carolina, triangle. He does a ton philanthropically in the area. His foundation, his mom was exceptionally active prior to her passing in certain causes in the area. So that's a separate legacy that I believe will continue, right? He made $276 million in his career earnings-wise in the NBA. I assume the foundation will stay active, and there's no reason to think it won't. And so that's kind of the other part of his legacy, which I think is awesome. But then I saw that somebody said this on social media, and it resonated with me. John Wall stayed kind of perfectly in rhythm with like public approval throughout his entire career, right? So often we see, especially in the NBA, you're the coolest guy, you're new, you're hot, everybody's excited. Then almost you get too big and too successful, and then everybody, like, there's that hard turn where now everyone's against you, and then maybe you have a career resurgence. And like we've seen it with LeBron 100 times. We've seen it with KD. We've seen it with James Harden. We've seen it, like, everyone that's been good for a long time goes through these ebbs and flows of, like, they're cool, they're a loser, they're cool, they're corny, they're cool, they're a snake, they're cool, they're this. I don't know if it's because John Wall, like, didn't spend enough time as a super duper elite guy before the injuries got him, but I think he's kind of just been, like, cool his entire career. When most of the country was introduced to him, he was doing the Dougie at Kentucky, right, coming out at Midnight Madness. Then he was a cool first pick. Then he was explosive, and everybody was like, Washington's got something happening here. Then he was like the public approval antithesis of James Harden at one point, and it was like, I don't know, he just seemed to never have, like, the pendulum never swung against him. He was just always, seems like John Wall would be a cool guy to hang out with, and it never swung the other way. Maybe he stayed grounded. Maybe he kept, good friends and family around him, and he never, like, drank his own Kool-Aid too much, or whatever you want to say. But a good career, a lucrative career financially.
Oh yeah,
a productive career on the court, and hopefully a very fulfilling life post basketball for him, or somehow in a different way related to basketball for him. Shout out to John Wall in the retirement.
Raleigh's own.
He was actually, you know what other legacy he has, and I didn't think of this till just now. He was one of the first basketball highlight tapes that got passed around. That was like,
yeah.
Did you see the John Wall House of Highlights or Ball is Life? And it was a big deal. That got passed around in early, like, YouTube. His high school deal was pretty darn cool. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. The Senior Bowl put out their top 300. Okay, so they started with a watch list. They limited it down to top 300. I believe the watch list was like 850. They're down to 300. I don't know what they've used to limit it. No games have been played. But obviously, we will pass along for you the players that have been included from the colleges in the Triangle. Starting with we'll go with this. We'll go with the kind of obvious. Duke had Chandler Rivers, cornerback, Terry Moore, safety, both on the list. Those two have been on every list. If there's a list that a defensive back can be on, they've been on it. So high expectations for the Duke secondary. NC State had tight end Justin Jolie. Similarly, Every listed tight end can be on Jolie has been included, so they're there. Then there was also for State Brandon Cleveland, a defensive lineman. We talked to him at ACC kickoff. I think part of the excitement for him is their defense going away from the Tony Gibson 3-3-5 and moving towards a more traditional run defense, which takes the interior defensive lineman from a really hard to see the production that you're producing. Basically, in the 3-3-5, you're the nose tackle. You're working really hard so other guys can look good. If you move him to more of a shade or you move him to a traditional defensive tackle, he might be able to pressure the quarterback a little bit more, might be able to make a few more plays. So I think everyone's excited to see what he can do, a little bit more space to operate. But here's the upset, everybody. Carolina had more inclusions on the Senior Bowl top 300 than Duke and State. Carolina had 3 inclusions: offensive lineman Daniel King and 2 corners in Marcus Allen and Thaddeus Dixon. That right there is noteworthy, right? Because up until now, I think it's been seen as Carolina has more perhaps possible players, but the others had more proven players because there's just so much unknown at UNC. The Senior Bowl adding 3 guys, that's good news for Carolina. But then throw this out there. Marcus Allen's growing in some height. People are coming around. I don't know if they're watching tape. I don't know if they're giving him just the Belichick bump. Like, oh, if Belichick likes you, we must like you. Like when a 2-star recruit gets like an Alabama offer and suddenly they're a 4-star recruit, and it's just like, I don't know, if Alabama likes him, we better like him too. Like if Belichick likes a defensive player, we better invite him to the Senior Bowl. But with Thaddeus Dixon, who was already really good at Washington last year, Marcus Allen rising up a lot of these rankings, if you're looking for optimism for the Tar Heels, give Bill Belichick and the other Belichicks 2 corners that they're comfortable leaving on an island, and watch how creative their defense can be. Watch how exotic the blitzes can be. Watch how disguised a defense can be when you have 2 corners that you can, match up one-on-one with a receiver and not have to give safety help and not have to have, a linebacker flying out there to get underneath short routes. If you can have 2 stud corners, that's a big deal for UNC for a Belichick defense. If you look at the best defenses they've had, meaning the Belichicks have had, we're talking Patriots now, Ty Law, Stephon Gilmore, Darrelle Revis. Like when you give them an elite corner, they can make life very, very difficult for opposing teams' quarterbacks. And then I had this thought about the Belichick defense the other day. Do you know what was maybe the 3rd most said thing on NFL broadcasts over the last 20 years? With number 1 being, did you know Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard? And number 2 being Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I don't know if you knew this.
Huh?
But
never knew.
Those things are just said a ton. The 3rd was Bill Belichick roasts rookie quarterbacks. The statistics, they had the whole graphic, right? Rookie quarterbacks against Belichick, their record was ugly, their stats were hideous, the turnovers were high. There ain't nothing but rookie quarterbacks in college, right? There's no NFL veterans in college. The best of the best are soon to be rookies in the NFL. If you give him smart back-end players that are trusted on an island, the quaking in their boots 20-year-old on the other side might be an easy target for that defense. And that's all just, my thoughts when I look at the Senior Bowl top 300, excuse me. That was also number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Blake Harrell, the ECU head football coach, joined us yesterday on the show, the Heaster Automotive Group hotline. And it was towards the end of the show, so we didn't really get a chance to break down what he said and react to it. So I thought we'd do that here, including this clip on revenue sharing. We're entering the revenue sharing era. And if you are a non-power conference football team, You may not max out your revenue sharing, right? Your school may not give the full $20.5 million that they're allowed to their athletes. So I asked Blake Harrell if he was comfortable with the level of commitment that has been given to his program and the athletic program at ECU. This is what Blake Harrell had to say.
We're blessed in Pirate Nation to be in an area where people, football matters. People care about football, and they're willing to support it with everything they have. Obviously, our resources may not be what the ACC is. I think, this year's roster, each year your revenue or your share amount is going to be different, and ours will be different next year. But I think this year, CJ Bailey's probably going to make more than our entire roster. But you don't focus on that. You focus on what you have and what your resources are and how you can, have success of what you have. And I think that's, not just about revenue share. That's about life, Be blessed to have what you have and make the best of it. And we're certainly going to try to do that.
I do love when you start going life lessons. Be blessed to have what you have. And that's true in life, just like revenue share. It's like, okay, so you want more revenue share? Gotcha. Right? Because in life, yeah, it's not about, it's not about getting what you want. It's about wanting what you have. Like I've heard the songs, I know the cliches, but that doesn't mean you don't, ask for a raise at work if you think you're worth more, right? You still go out there and chase more. We're blessed to have what we have. Yeah, but sure would be easier if you could go out there and pay a little bit more. But then there's that other line that he slid in there in the middle, right? CJ Bailey, who is the starting quarterback for NC State, who they play in week 1. CJ Bailey might be making more than our entire roster this year.
Might not be wrong.
Yeah, and by the way, we won't know if it's true or not, right? We only know because it's not like the NFL or the NBA where like there's a salary database that we can go search online. How much is this guy making? But it might be true. Like if some of the numbers that are rumored out there for what a starting quarterback in the Power 5 gets, it very well could be true. Here's the interesting part. Is that, actually, let me ask you this, Dennis. Sometimes it's a cliche amongst golfers that on the first tee, everybody gets up to, first tee, everybody starts talking about their tight back, right? Everybody talks about how they haven't played in 3 months, right? Because that way, if you play bad, it's like, remember, I had that bad back.
Yeah, told you, back.
I told you it was tight. I slept on it funny. Is this... Well, their NIL budget is so big that our whole team doesn't even make what their quarterback makes. So if it doesn't happen, everybody, I had that bad back thing, right? We didn't have the same money, so that's why I'm 4 over through 3 holes, right? Like that's why I put those 2 in the drink on 8. Got the back thing.
Or you play well, it's like, man, imagine if my back wasn't hurting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
how much better would it be?
And I'm doing all this playing with rental clubs. It's like, or
my shoes,
or more like. By the way, I'm not pretending that like he's out there creating pre excuses. But I will say this: now that you've floated that ahead of time, if there is a loss that people are not happy about, you can go to your administration and say, we do know going in the cards were stacked against us for this reason. This is why I need more, right? It's that salesman thing, right? You need to create the need before you make the sale. Nobody's buying anything that they don't think they need, right? You buy things that you think you need. It's the whole, if you've watched The Wolf of Wall Street, right? Sell me this pen. You take the pen away. Write your name. I don't have a pen. Oh, perfect. Here's one. $10, right? You have to create the need for them to have the thing that you're selling. So make it obvious. They have way more money to spend on rosters. If their roster wins against our roster, now we have a need. I need to go get more cash. You need to go raise me more cash. The school needs to give me more cash. It's an interesting little potential thought experiment. Now, let's get to number 1.
Go one! There's the shotgun snap. 4-man rush. Young with time. Sends it deep downfield for Thielen. Makes the catch in the end zone for a Carolina touchdown.
Go.
A lot of talk today about Adam Thielen potentially being on the trade block. Now, it's not there's no sources inside the Panthers that this is coming from. What there is, though, is a lot of connecting of logic dots, right? The Minnesota Vikings reportedly are shopping for a veteran wide receiver. Adam Thielen is a veteran productive wide receiver from Minnesota that spent a bulk of his career in Minnesota, has that multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons with Minnesota, playing for a team that one of the stories of the preseason has been they might have one more wide receiver than they want to keep on the roster, and who's going to be cut, who's going to not make the roster, are they going to keep 7, what else would they have to sacrifice? So you add up all of that, and by the way, he's 35 years old. Panthers aren't contenders this year. He's on the last year of his contract. Panthers aren't contenders this year, and they might be able to get something in return. So because we connect all those kind of logic puzzle pieces, Hansel and Gretel our way through the clues, I think it's a good idea. But I will also, this will be my one qualifier, right? Because I've said now once an hour, I've said, I like this idea and I can't get it out of my head. I will give you the obvious caveat. The price has to be right. Okay? Every trade is a good trade if the price is right. I'd like, when people are like, here are the untouchables. I'm not giving up J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, or Teterow and McMillan in a trade. I'm going, well, I would if the price was right. The price would be astronomical in order for it to be right. But if there's a fool out there willing to spend $100 for $10, yeah, I'll take a 10x return, right? And I'm not saying you need a 10x return to trade Adam Thielen, but I'm saying if it's a 2027 7th, I'm saying no. If it's a 5th rounder in the upcoming draft, I'm probably saying yes. And if you add in the fact that the Minnesota Vikings have 10 draft picks in the upcoming draft, with a bulk of them being kind of 3rd to 5th, 3rd to 6th, like they're the mid-round picks, which is where this would need to kind of exist. Not saying as high as 3rd, unless it's like a swap of some. I don't know. It won't be a 3rd. But they got picks to spend, and they're a team that's trying to contend this year, and those picks in next year's draft aren't helping them, right? I don't care how many 4th rounders you have in the 2026 draft. They're not catching a crucial 3rd down for you. Adam Thielen might. But I don't care how many 5th round picks you have. If Justin Jefferson misses a month, those picks aren't going to help J.J. McCarthy get through his rookie year. But Adam Thielen might. And as I talked about earlier, will you miss Adam Thielen if it happens, if they trade him away? Yes. Adam Thielen is good. Okay? I'm not here to disparage Adam Thielen. Matter of fact, that's why I think he has to be the one to get traded away, because has value. I don't think if you trade away David Moore, you're getting back anything. Unless it's like their version of David Moore. If they have a 35-year-old 3rd-string swing tackle or something, sure, you might be able to make that happen, but that's not helping the Panthers enough.
No, it's not.
I don't think Hunter Renfrow is bringing anything back in a trade. I don't think you want to trade away any of the other guys.
No.
Right? Maybe Leggett, but then you're basically buying at a first-round pick price and then selling a year later at significantly less.
Yeah, pennies on a dollar.
And you don't want to do that. So it's really simply Thielen is the only one that kind of fits the puzzle pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, which is uniquely a good fit for Adam Thielen, it's where he's got his big old house on the lake and everything. It just makes a lot of sense. And when you can find a true win-win like that, I think you do it. Again, the price has to be right, but I think you do it. And then you tell Bryce, Teterow McMillan's your new safety blanket. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and we actually need to grab some numbers game contestants because somebody has to win some Bryan Adams tickets. But before we do that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to say.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 3 weeks, I've dropped 25 pounds thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And for everyone out there that's struggling with their weight, I know I'm not the only one, especially as you get older in age. I know I'm in my late 30s now. it's not as easy as it once was. Your body just doesn't react the way it was 20 years ago, and that's something that Raleigh Weight Loss Center is all about getting your body to do. It's about restarting your metabolism. There's no injections, there's no shots, so you don't have to worry about side effects or any of those kinds of things. We're not doing HGH or steroids. We're not juicing out over here. But the whole thing that Raleigh Weight Loss Center, again, like I said, it's about restarting your metabolism. That way your body is naturally burning fat about, half pound to a pound a day and doing it in a way where you can maintain that goal weight. I actually had a follow-up appointment with Raleigh Weight Loss Center yesterday. My body fat percentage dropped nearly 3%. And I've also made sure that I've mostly maintained my muscle mass as well. With so many fad diets, you're just losing water weight and you're losing muscle mass, but you're not actually burning fat. That's the whole point of Raleigh Weight Loss. They want you actually burning the visceral fat that is around the center of your body. That's what they're trying to do. Now, results are always going to vary, but if you're feeling frustrated, you got to give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call. And here's the thing. Raleigh Weight Loss Center is having a huge end of summer sale, offering up to 20% off now through August 29th with their lowest prices of the year on the amazing Raleigh Weight Loss program. So schedule your free consultation. Again, a free consultation. Just give them a call today. 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Again, 919-897-7506 or RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. So call in now if you want to play. The number to call, 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game. And if you win, the prize for today, a pair of tickets to see Bryan Adams at the Lenovo Center on November 5th. If you want to see Bryan Adams, you have to win the numbers game. We need 2 contestants. Call in now, 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
You've heard the perfect scores on air. We're bringing our champions to the stage. It's our second annual Numbers Game Live Show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Perfect players will compete on August 21st at the fabulous Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Watch on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for lighting up Numbers Game Live.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Genie log, day 15,824. Powerball jackpot's over $600 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10 by 10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $600 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And as always, we have 2 contestants on the line. We have Anthony in Clayton and Kevin in Durham. I am told they are both first-time contestants. So we are breaking the seal. A couple of newbies here. But they know how to play, and hopefully that means they know that I will be asking them both the same question. Dennis will be the judge. He'll judge the answers, pick his favorite. That person will get to go first. Anthony and Clayton, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. I need you to answer this question. Earlier today, we did a blind ranking of like swaggiest Panthers jerseys. We're going to broaden it for you a little bit. You get to pick one throwback jersey, player, era, right? Like give us the describe it for us. What it would be your all-time GOAT, greatest of all time throwback jersey?
As a Bears fan, I got to say the 1950 throwback we wear with the Michigan Wolverine M on the helmet.
All right. So that is a Bears throwback from 1950s with the Michigan M on it.
Yes, sir.
All right. I feel like I should know that, but I can't imagine it in my brain. I'll look it up during a commercial break. Dennis, do you have any follow-ups? Are you familiar with it?
Any particular player, maybe?
Ooh, player, too. Anthony, are you there? Yeah, pick a player.
Yeah. That's probably like Gale Sayers.
Okay. All right, so you're going with a throwback there. All right. Sayers, the Kansas Comet. That brings us to Kevin in Durham. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Tim. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Same question to you. In honor of our blind ranking from earlier today, what is your GOAT throwback uniform? A player, the jersey, describe it to us. If you can only have one, if you can only pick one as the greatest of all time, what's the best throwback jersey?
Oh, it's Pat Patriot by far.
Okay, so that's the logo. What player jersey are you wearing?
Oh, Mosey Tutupu.
Mosey Tutupu.
Okay, I'm assuming the red throwback jersey, is that what you're talking about?
Yep, absolutely, yep.
Okay.
Tutupu, his son played in the league, didn't he?
I think so. Lofa
Tutupu,
yeah.
Exactly. He was good for a while. All right, so you have the 1950s Bears throwbacks, Gale Sayers, and the Patriot Pat red throwbacks for the Patriots with Tutupu as the jersey.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked up both jerseys. I got to go Kevin and Durham this one. The Mosey Tutupu, like old school red Patriots uniform. This thing is sharp. That's like full on deep cut throwback jersey right there. I got to go with Kevin and Durham on this one.
I imagine walking around like a Patriots tailgate, you'd get a lot of high fives for that one.
They've all been fans since 2000. They wouldn't know.
Zing. Kevin and Durham, you get to go first. Anthony and Clayton, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a second. Kevin, you ready to pick a category?
Yep, ready.
All right, the categories are NFL players who retired too soon, NFL players who played in the ACC in college and then were in the league, the NFL, from 2010 to 2019, somewhere in that range, NBA players that are listed at exactly 6 feet tall, no taller, no shorter, or NHL Hurricanes only.
We're going to do the NBA jerseys, Tim.
All right. Wait, say this again?
NBA.
Okay, NBA players that are exactly 6 feet tall is the category. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, let's go.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers.
3.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
11.
Incorrect. Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers.
22.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
10.
Incorrect. Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers.
6.
Say it again.
6.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
1.
Incorrect. Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers.
0.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
22.
You said 10 for VanVleet. We needed 10 for Garland. So
oh, no.
10 was for Garland. VanVleet was number 5 we were looking for. You didn't get any. That's an offer. However, the one bit of hope for you is tie does go to whoever goes first. So if there's a double offer, you will get the win. So stay on the line, and we'll see if you can squeak by, all right?
Thanks.
All right. That brings us to Anthony and Clayton. Anthony, are you there?
Yes.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that played in the ACC in college and were in the league at some point in the NFL at some point between 2010 and 2019. We have NFL players who retired too soon, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
NFL ACC.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least one for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nah, man, you got it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens.
8.
Correct. Dalvin Cook, Minnesota Vikings.
24.
Incorrect. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns.
89.
Incorrect. Dalvin Cook, Minnesota Vikings.
Pass.
Jalen Ramsey, Miami Dolphins.
3.
Incorrect. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns.
86.
Incorrect. Dalvin Cook, Minnesota Vikings.
4.
Correct. Kelvin Benjamin, Carolina Panthers.
81 though.
We were looking for 13 for Kelvin Benjamin.
Okay.
But the way you guessed Dalvin Cook was so unconfident, it surprised me that you got it right. I was so ready to say incorrect, and you went, just 4? And I was like, correct. You actually surprised me on that one. But you got 2. That's plenty for the win. You got Lamar with 8. You got Cook with 4. We would have accepted 4 or 33 for Dalvin Cook. Either would have been options. Njoku is 85, so you were in the mix there. You went 89, 86. Jalen Ramsey, number 5 with the Dolphins, and as I said, Benjamin 13. But that's all just details. You got the win. Congratulations. Some Bryan Adams tickets are coming your way.
Thank you, man, and big ups to you, Tim, bro. I will listen to you every day. I'm a big fan.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But stay on the line. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, and also stay on the line so you can get those Bryan Adams tickets. I got to get back in shape. I'm going to be doing like 100 rounds of numbers game tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
For the numbers game live. I need to make sure I'm not stumbling. I can't be surprised by a correct answer. I got to expect correct and be ready to pivot.
I know. I gotta be ready on the trigger with the dings tomorrow.
We have the numbers game live tomorrow, 7:00. You all can follow along on YouTube. We have a year's worth of perfect score winners that have been invited. We have the whole thing set up. It's going to be over there at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs. Whole thing presented by Sharky's, Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. It's a really cool entire event. But it is like you gotta know your stuff. You know, one of the sayings that Dennis says quite often when we're talking about athletes and coaches and teams is anyone can have a good moment. It takes a lot more to have a good run, a good season, a good career. That's kind of what we're figuring out here, right? Because if you just get lucky, right, you come on the numbers game, and one specific era, maybe even one team, and you happen to get a category that's all in that realm, you can get a perfect score and cruise into numbers game live. But numbers game live, you're gonna have to know your stuff in more ways than one. You're gonna have to win multiple rounds. You're gonna have to go toe to toe with another sports junkie and see if you can come out on the other side victorious. It's gonna be really fun. Again, tomorrow at 7 on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You can watch along. Special thanks to Onsite AV, a full-service event production company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game Live, August 21st. By the way, if you're looking for the best jerseys, we talked about the best throwback. In the NFL, I would go like Elway throwback with the Bronco, the old school D Bronco logo. I'm going that. For basketball, probably something early 2000s Grizzlies, maybe a Vince Carter with the dribbling dinosaur. That's a pretty cool one. Baseball, I mean, early era, I'm a Mets fan, and I'm partial to that. So early era, like Darryl Strawberry maybe. There's a bunch of good ones out there. Those would just be some of my picks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I did bring up that our YouTube live stream will be running for our numbers game live, but it actually runs for every single edition of this show. So I'm waving to everyone out there in YouTube land. You can always join the show. You can join the conversation in the comments just going by 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You could be letting us know your favorite throwback uniform, throwback jersey in the comments right now. It runs every single time. Get there, subscribe, like, share, all that sort of stuff. We'd appreciate it. I'd also appreciate if you listen to what Dennis has to tell you right now.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Are you maybe trapped in a high-rate mortgage? Maybe you're watching your hard-earned money vanish every single month? Well, stop. Just stop doing that. Right now, Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. I'll say that one more time. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto, it's amazing. Imagine this, folks. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 house payments. Don't let high rates hold you back any further. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with the latest proposal for a new college football playoff format. This one comes from the Big Ten, and it's a doozy. Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the preseason, so me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, are back in the trenches with our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp rolls forward. Insight on the rookies, the fresh free agents and surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Why world-class? Because it has a crisp and superior taste. That's world-class. It has only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. That's very world-class. So, if I'm seen drinking it by association, am I world-class? Oh yeah, Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just because I did throw it out there that if you happen to be kicking around in our YouTube chat, you could let us know your favorite throwback jersey. And somebody did. Dennis, what was the comment?
So Austin in our YouTube live chat talking about throwback jerseys. Austin said he would go with a classic 90s Charlotte Hornets Larry Johnson jersey.
It's pretty good.
And a starter jacket.
It's pretty good.
It's a great one. Actually, my girlfriend and I, for her nephew, who's about to be a sophomore in high school, or just starting his sophomore year in high school, we got him an old school Larry Johnson throwback jersey for his birthday. Loves it.
It's a pretty good one. And really, and the one thing I will say about throwback jerseys is I do like the obscure fan favorites better than like the All-Stars.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to that Hornets era, like kind of hilarious to have like a Tony Bennett jersey. That's a deeper pull where it's more like if you know stuff. Larry Johnson, by the way, great player. I mean, Space Jam, can't go wrong. But like even if it's a great player, but it's on a team you don't think of, like an Alonzo Mourning Hornets jersey, is kind of tough.
Vlade Divac,
Glenn
Rice.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
now we're talking. Those are kind of cool. But I'm open for anything. I like Throwback jerseys are fun. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How about this one? The Big Ten has a new college football playoff format proposal.
Bruh.
So you're out on this then? Can I judge that by your your choice? The idea expands it expands the playoff to 24 or 28 teams. I've seen let me go ahead and find this there, like where it's like 7-7 for the SEC, the Big Ten, 5-5, 2-2. Is that up to 8 or 28?
Yeah.
Which would be the 5 and 5 would be Big 12 and ACC. 2 from the group of 5, and then 2 at large would be the way to go about it. Now, Dennis, you immediately threw the boo.
Yeah.
Why don't you like it?
20. It's just too much.
You're not a fan of more teams having a chance to settle it on the field?
I mean, who was the 27th ranked team last year in college football at the end of the year?
I can find out for you.
I mean, like Louisville, maybe Duke.
Well,
I mean, we're literally talking like 8-win teams. I'm sorry, 8-win teams shouldn't have shots at the national championship.
I would agree with that.
That's what we're talking about.
I wouldn't agree with that. If you seed it correctly and give buys to the right teams, the part that I struggle with is if you win like 10 games in a power conference, you might be worthy of a shot at the belt, right? And we've proven that by a bunch of 10-win teams have gone on to win national championships. But it's the eye test and everything. I like letting players settle it on the field whenever possible, right? I like letting players settle it on the field if it's within the realm of possibility. By the way, I couldn't find the college football playoff rankings, but according to the final AP Top 25, Louisville would have been 28th. I don't know. Give Tyler Shuck a chance to go slay a Goliath.
Come on.
I like, because of the nature of sports, I do like being able to say you're not the national champion because you lost to a team that was better than you on the field. Right? They had a chance to, you could go out there and if you scored more points than them, you would have been champions. And if you didn't, you're not, and there you go. I get very frustrated when there's like a 10-win team that makes the CFP and a 10-win team that doesn't. And they didn't get the chance to settle it on the field. That's basically what I'm getting at. Secondly, and I'm not saying you go all the way to 28, although I did play FCS football, and we went through a long, I think it was 4 playoff games, ended in the national championship game, didn't win, but we made it at the University of Delaware, and it wasn't the craziest, brutality season on our bodies. But the other thing I like about it is this. What happens every single postseason in college football now? Opt-outs. Opt-outs, opt-outs, opt-outs. Why? Because as soon as your team doesn't have a chance at the national championship, what are we playing for? If you include 24, 28 teams in the CFP bracket, less people will opt out. So we'll have the players that we want to see one more time in college more often playing in their postseason action. So there's crazier things have been said than let's expand it to 24 or 28 teams.
If you look at the final college football playoff rankings last year, Syracuse was 21st. Nothing about Syracuse should be in contention for a national championship the way they played last year. Same with Illinois, 9-3.
Draft pick at quarterback, draft pick at running back.
Cool, congrats.
I'm just saying they weren't like.
So did Colorado. They were 23rd.
So you must hate the basketball tournament.
No, I think 64 is perfect because there are more teams involved over the course of the season. You're talking 365 teams as opposed to 110.
It's about half. I think it's 140.
I'm sorry. We're literally getting to the also receiving votes category of teams.
I think
that's really where we're going.
But do you know what else it opens up to? It opens it up to there are basketball teams where it is a massive success to be in the Elite Eight, right?
Yeah.
It could have a football situation where a school like Syracuse gets a new coach, brings in a transfer quarterback, they make it to the Elite Eight, upset a team in the Sweet 16, now that's a huge momentum-building situation for a program when, I don't know whatever bowl they played in, did absolutely nothing for them as far as a potential success, right? It's either you're bowl eligible or you're not, and that's all that matters. And you can have 7 games by week 8, and then you're just kind of in the middle of whatever. You're in no man's land for the rest of the season. Again, maybe it's just because I played FCS football, so I get it. We played, I want to say Lehigh in our opener, and smoked them. We won by a bunch. They weren't a true national title contender that year, but their season was a huge success because they made it to the college football playoff at the FCS level. And will there be teams like that? Yeah. There will be teams getting in there that are just stoked and they scratched and clawed to make their way into the top 25 or whatever it needs to be. But then they get to say they made it into the CFP. And by the way, it's what we argue for the ACC all the time, right? The polls say the SEC is better, but so often we get on the field and the ACC is winning the games. This would be a chance for us to kind of put our money where our mouth is and say, all right, Louisville, all right, Syracuse, you're a 10 seed, but no more complaining here. You got your shot, right? Now you got to go out there and prove it. And then the last part that I'll say is great, and this does directly come from my FCS experience, more games that mean a ton on college campuses, right? Even if you want to take the Elite 8, Final Four, and championship to, the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona, or wherever you want to do it, play those first couple of rounds where the higher seed is home. Those environments will be bananas. We played all of our postseason games that year at home until the national championship. And, there was reverse field storming, right? Mm-hmm. The police on horses came out there, told our student section, if you step foot on this field, you're getting arrested. So what do? A bunch of players ran into the stands. We called it a reverse field storming, where the players were jumping. It's so much fun to have those games on campus. So, the Beef O'Brady's Bowl is never going to be on a campus. First and second round of a big tournament might be, and those games will mean more, and those games will have better atmospheres than the Beef O'Brady's Bowl ever will.
With the Big Ten's proposal is also talking about eliminating conference championship games, which I'm not a fan of either.
I would fight against that more aggressively than I'm fighting for the expansion here. But what I will say is I think they feel like they have to. Because if you're adding that many games, they feel like they have to take one away, or else it's you don't care about player safety.
Yeah, they don't anyway. But
of course not. I think you should just own it like the NFL and go, well, we care about player safety along the way to making us the most money. If that happens, then go right ahead.
And based off this proposal, again, 7 teams from the Big Ten go. You're literally talking about 8-win Minnesota getting in.
Yeah.
Last year. And also 5 teams from the Big 12. You're talking about 8-win Baylor.
But right now,
getting in there.
Look at who's the 13th best team that didn't make it in this year, right? That team might, as much as you're saying Minnesota isn't deserving, I might say I would rather have a non-deserving team get smoked in the first round or second round than have a deserving team be held out of a smaller.
If they were
CFP.
deserving, they'd be in. That's the way I look at it. If you were that deserving, you would have won enough in the regular season to get in.
If you're deserving and in the SEC, then yeah, you'll probably get in. If you're deserving and you're in the ACC, an SEC team's probably getting in. And that's where if you can just put them on the field, let them settle it, then all that bias goes out the window.
They're eventually going to get to 16. So I'll call it what it is. But 28,
by the way,
team?
I've been on record a long time. I think 8 is perfect.
I would actually agree with you in that regard.
And then it's conference champions. The top 5 highest-ranked conference champions and 3 at-large. But then I don't trust the committee to get the at-large right. The problem I have is with humans. I want them to settle it on the field in lieu of people in a room sitting at a conference table saying, I like this team. If you can get it on the field to settle it as football players do, I'm in. Worry about safety and everything as well, but I'm in. With that being said, you want to talk about settling it on the field? Who do you think is the best numbers game contestant of all time? we're going to settle it on the field. We're going to settle it at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills as we do our second annual Numbers Game Live tomorrow at 7. We gather all of the best, a year's worth of perfect score contestants, invited, brought in. We're going to put together a bracket. Ready? We're going to expand it. We're going to make sure everybody deserving gets a chance. And then at the end, only one team, one player will be winning the title of Numbers Game Champion. Whole thing presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. It's taking place tomorrow, 7 o'clock. As I mentioned, at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs. I encourage you all, if you didn't make it this year, to play the Numbers Game. First of all, call in. We do it every day at 5:30. But you can also watch on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, as we crown our champion live. 99.9 The Fan YouTube live stream. Special thanks to Onsite AV, a full-service event production company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game Live. In about an hour, we have Wolfpack Weekly right here on 99.9 The Fan. Hear from Dave Doran how the NC State football preseason is going, first one of the year. So stick around for that. On our sister station, Buzz Sports Radio, Duke, you can hear from Manny Diaz for their coaches show, 7 o'clock as well. We'll be back tomorrow for a Panthers game day, preseason game 3. Get you ready for that one. Until then, have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
If we're going to do a quick power ranking right now of second-year QBs, you're saying Jaden 1.
Yes.
2 Knicks.
Correct.
3.
May.
Which would leave us 4 Caleb.
At best. You got J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix Jr. I would have all 3 of those guys in the hat. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams is 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams was 6th.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Auto.